Hello, students, how are you? I hope you all are doing fine. And now we will take the live session for paper discussion of GS paper 1 and analysis also. How was the paper and what was the review of the students? Plus, what, according to us, how was the paper and what should we do for the next year? We will talk about the cutoff also and the trend of the past year papers also. So, I would like to tell Faisal sir to say something about the UPSC Prelims paper.
Okay. First things mostly we ask how was the paper. So in case of comparing this paper with the past years, maybe the last years, this year paper was moderately difficult for someone. Someone would say that like this was a moderate this paper. So whatever it is, when we analyze this paper through each subjects, some subjects are moderate, some subjects are maybe little difficult, maybe because of lack of revision, maybe lack of the coverage of current affair, depending on the students as well. So we'll take the analysis as per the students' feedback, and generally we'll give an conclusion like these subjects were difficult based on the questions which they have asked, based on the question which they have framed, maybe the types of statements like two statement, three statements, which are the type of questions were more. Depending upon these way, we will analyze and tell that this question paper was little or moderately difficult. Like these will be included in our today's session. And we'll also go through, I think, the each question papers, the questions subject wise. We'll also see how many questions were asked. So these analysis will also be, I think, discussed. I think Suhas sir also will explain more about the paper.
Hi guys. If you ask me how was the paper, I would say it's a moderate paper for me. And every year UPSC have some secrets or some kind of an Easter egg in every paper. And this year, actually, there is a visible change of pattern, and the policy of question asking is also have changed. I think for some questions exactly. So while we were giving classes, we used to say that you don't need to study this which year this got implemented or what was that exact factual knowledge. We don't need much about these things. Like uh, it's something like UPSC often asks the conceptual questions. In our state PSC exams, they will ask factual questions like what was the year of implementing these kind of knowledge. We don't need much for UPSC like that we used to say. But this year there is a change of pattern, or there is a change of asking question that UPSC asked what year, or else like this purely factual kind of a content. But for me, I take it as a surprising element in UPSC question paper. And why UPSC is adding these surprising elements in every year? This is just to deviate our focus, or else like try to reduce our confidence. Like if you can't answer that factual questions, doesn't matter. You can skip that question. You don't need to answer like 100 questions. Like it's not like that. If a question appears very factual and you don't have any knowledge about that, you cannot memorize everything. So in those kind of questions you can just skip it. I consider it in that way only. Like those questions actually meant to skip, so I skipped those questions. Other than that, many of the questions are were moderate, and we can use that old elimination type methods for this paper. And the science and technology portions was actually compared to moderate to be like very. And the happy thing is, whatever we questions or many questions which we discussed in the prelims sprint, Alchemy IAS prelims sprint session, many questions appeared in UPSC prelims. So that was actually a thing that gave happiness, bring smile on faculty's face actually. Okay, that's all about a general review of examination for me. And
So actually, the paper was like factual also, but applied knowledge also. Like you have to know some basics also. Conceptual clarity should be there. But how to apply that knowledge to the questions? That was the basics of the or the what do we say that the result, the analysis of the paper. That you have to apply the things that you have studied, and then how you can give the answers of the question. So that is what UPSC tested this time. And yes, facts were very good, and it made the question paper very difficult also. some students found it very difficult. For some areas were very easy, like history was easy, and I think very easy this time. Simple, straightforward questions came. Buddhism, Jainism, no questions were there from that. That was a surprising element. Also, some continuous, like constant things were also there, like PYQs. Many of the PYQs were repeated. If we talk about Harappan, Mohenjo-daro, dancing girl, that was repeated. Agrahatas, the same type of question came. Mahendra Varman one also, which was discovered in 2020. The same question came from the Pallavas, and this time also the same question came. Fahian, yeah, that is the favorite thing. So I was telling my students also that Fahian and Huen Sang, definitely UPSC will going to be asking the question, and Harappan civilization also. So these were the things, and current affairs also, like many of the schemes were in front of our eyes only. Schemes or the laws or whatever was happening at the global level, like global AI summit. So that was the discussion. It was very popular also, trending also. During this time, whenever these meetings were happening, so everything was in front, but yeah, we have to read it in detail, and factual and facts were asked. That was what made it difficult. So let's start the analysis now, and we'll start with the subject wise question trend. We look at the subjects from the year 2020 to 2025, how many questions came and from which subject. So see, we were saying we'll start with history. So we were saying that history में modern India questions are not coming, right? If we look at the modern India section, what do we see is 2024, how many questions came from modern India? So it came only two. Only two questions were asked from modern India. Medieval India, 1. Ancient India, 5. Art and culture, 1. Then when we look at the 2025, again, modern India has increased. The questions from modern India has increased, and only NCM, like this freedom struggle phase is very important, right? So from NCM only we have three questions. So again, the shift has been seen. And then if we talk about polity, so see 2017, it has maintained the average. One more thing that UPSC has done is it has maintained the balance between the subjects. Like history also 16 questions were there. Polity, we have seen that around 14 questions were there. Economy 14, then geography 13. So it is like a balanced paper, not overly dependent on one subject. Like environment, not more than 20 questions were asked. So it was a good paper. Science and technology also 13 questions were asked. Current affairs and miscellaneous topics were 23. So this is what made the paper difficult, right? Like asking questions about the sports, and that too, the score of the Kho question came, and score was also that was the difficult question, right? Next part is the 1 second, yeah, types of question. So the kind of questions that were asked, so Suhas sir will take this session.
So the type of questions asked, like most of the questions were UPSC's favorite three questions, three statements type. But here actually, like here where the elimination technique works more for a three statement type questions, and single options were also there this time. More single option questions were there, like direct factual questions, like what it is, kind of like one question will be there, and ABCD direct options will be there. There won't be any statements, there won't be any assertion reasons, kind of thing. This direct single option questions were there. Two statement questions, like earlier this was a trend for UPSC, like two statements will be there. This was once a favorite portion for UPSC, like one only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. These kind of questions were earlier much asked. This year those kind of questions were there, and five or more statement questions also this year, like five options and five or more option questions also this year appeared. It was around like a 9 question for four statement, and more five or more statements where four questions were there. And last 3 years, I think these type of questions, assertion reason type questions, it's actually one of my favorite portion, favorite part of UPSC. Like you should have the conceptual knowledge, and you should have the analytical skill also to answer these kind of questions. So for these questions, actually the toughness level will be a little less, because you have to have a two skill here. You have to know the facts, you have to know the concept. Above that, you have to have the analytical ability also. And suppose if you don't know the fact, okay, don't know the concept properly, still we can answer these kind of questions, because these assertion reason type questions, the option will be like both assertion and reason is right, and the reason is actually explaining the assertion, these kind of questions. So by using your common sense, usual logic, I mean, if you don't know the concept also, you can answer these type of questions very easily. So that's why this portion is a favorite for me. And matching type questions, like how many options are properly matched, this question also, this actually, like, I consider this as a most little more difficult one. So we have to you have to know everything here in matching questions. So in matching questions, the options also like one pair only properly matched, two pair only, three pair only. So I consider this as a, I think, most difficult kind of a question. And this year 8 questions appeared as a matching type questions. And regarding a subjective analysis, Faisal Sarvigil.
Yes, coming to the next part, whether the paper is difficult, then when we go through each subjects, especially it's also depending upon the candidates. Some candidate would feel that for their preparations, in during their preparation, they would say their most favorite subject would be the Indian polity. In some would say that science subject. Some would be, like the or their strong subject would be history, depending upon the candidates also. I think mostly when we take the group of candidates, they have their strong subjects, they have their weak subjects. Whatever it is, whether we are strong or weak in different subjects, we have to at least study about all these core areas of our syllabus, like Indian polity, Indian economy, history, geography, science, and environment. From these subjects, we have seen that questions are repeatedly asking around 10 to 15 question can anyway can come from these subjects. Well, we go through these questions which they have asked this year, whether the questions asked from these subjects are they difficult or moderates. So that's only we are just analyzing through the subject. For example, polity, when we analyze the question which they have asked from Indian polity, somehow comparatively with the previous year, it was a moderate, because even knowing just one statement, we can eliminate the other option and we can reach to the answers. There are certain questions like that. But even though there are certain questions which will be like confusing statement, because it's also the question paper that we are solving within that time limits, a candidate has to decide immediately. We cannot take much more times within the time when we are solving this question. Sometimes we'll have some difficult questions as well. In that case, polity paper, polity subject, polity questions were somehow moderates. History subjects, because those who studied well and have enough knowledge, a good knowledge about especially the story related facts. So the question trend when we analyze this year, it was somehow comparatively easy to moderate. Yes, advantage was there. So which subject had an advantage in the last in this year paper? I would say, I think history subjects. More number of questions were asked, around 13 to 15 questions were there, and easy to moderate trend was there. Then geography, yes, we are very really good at with the concepts in geography. Yes, the paper we can somehow can solve some questions. So moderately difficult paper, moderately difficult. Economy connected to current affair as well as the statics. Moderate to difficult was there. Some questions are difficult, some questions we can somehow reach into the answer by thinking logically, rationally. Then we can use also the techniques. Then regarding the environments and the ecology subjects, again moderate. 10 questions were there, mostly also current affair related. So this is a trend that we understood through going through the each subjects. So that's the reason that this year paper was moderate or moderately difficult. That was opinion, that was a feedback mostly the candidate has given. Thank you. Then we have the next part that Kavita ma'am will explain regarding the cutoff rates. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the cutoff list, right? Like 2024, we can see the cutoff. What was the cutoff? 87.98 for the general category. Then EWS 85.92 and 87.28 for OBC. SC is 79.03 and then ST is 74.23. So this was the cutoff in 2024. And looking at the difficulty level or the number of questions that were asked in CSAT paper, also the number of vacancies, also we can see that cutoff usually depends on the number of vacancies also. So multiple factors are there which decide the cutoff. Not only one single factor is there. So these things will, according to us, we think that cutoff will be around 85 to 90. It will not go beyond 90 marks. And because of looking at all these factors, we think that it will be between 85 and 90 marks, right? So whoever is getting above 80, if you're getting the marks, I think they should prepare for the mains and then start writing the test series. Yes, sir. So I would like to also ask Sir and Faisal sir also and ask them about the cutoff prediction. According to them, what will be the cutoff prediction?
Predicting cutoff is actually somewhat the very difficult thing. Actually, don't know. It's a mixed response. For some people, it was like a easy paper, and someone it is moderate, and someone is actually moderate to difficult. So I'm expecting a same level of cutoff of 2024, somewhere around, because yeah, it was not as tough as 2023 question paper. It was a comparatively moderate one. So I'm expecting that difficult level was actually level was also similar to 2024. So I'm also expecting a cutoff somewhere around to 2024 one. And what about you, sir?
Like prelims is not just about writing GS1 paper, and we have the another CSAT paper. So difficulty level of CSAT paper is also depend these deciding the cutoff margin for the GS paper, because those who scored well, even the paper is moderate, they may score well in the GS1, but they will find difficulty in scoring better in CSAT. So when CSAT is also in this year also they continue the difficulty level of the CSAT questions, including the some kind of difficult questions mostly from the number system. So in that case, solve this question within the time limit is difficult for most of the students, since the CSAT paper is also difficult. And when we come like take these consideration of both the paper, then this year cutoff again will come down if you're scoring at least enough 80 plus, and if your CSAT score is more than the minimum qualification, then you should continue your preparation for the mains examination. That's what I would suggest. But anyway, cutoff will continue with the same margin, 85 to 90. So even if you are scoring more than 80s also, we can prepare directly now for the mains preparations for the mains examination. Yes, sir.
So we will now move forward with the session and the actual paper discussion now. Analysis part is over. And congratulations to all the students who are getting above 80 marks. Please start, dedicatedly start the mains preparation. And if you need any help, we are also, Alchemy IS also is launching the mains mentorship program, which is called Right to Rank 2025. It is a 18 test series program in which the live test writing will also be there, discussion will also be there, PYQ analysis, topper session, everything will be there. And same time, one-on-one mentorship will be provided, and every Sunday one test will be there. So it is a weekly structured program from Monday to Sunday, and intensively designed program which will be very beneficial for our students. And same thing we tried for our students for prelims also. Prelims sprint program was there, which was a very unique program where we tried to discuss more than 250 plus questions in the class. And it was a very fruitful session because we saw that many of the themes were actually asked in the examination, and some of the questions were directly asked from the questions that were discussed from the topics like environment, geography, history, science and technology, economics. So that was also very intensively designed program, and which made the students, I think it has helped our students and boosted their confidence in the examination hall. So now let's proceed towards the paper discussion. And all those students who could not get good marks or below 80 they are getting, do not lose confidence. Please start again and prepare for the next year, this time in a better way, in an organized way, because organized preparation is very much needed. Now we have understood this thing that only going to a substandard level of the studies is not okay. You have to first understand the basics, plus you have to know how to use this thing in the questions also. So please start an organized way of preparation, and if you need any help from us, we'll be there to provide you the help. And all those students who are there in the live, please say hi so that we know that you are actively watching the live, and we want to know our students also Who all are there in the live section? Please say hi. Okay, I'll open the paper now. And we'll start with the history section discussion, then the geography session, and then current affairs also I'll be taking. And Suhas sir will be taking the science and technology and economics session, and the polity will be taken by Faisal sir. So let's start. This is set A. The paper that we are going to discuss is set A, and the questions that we are going to discuss is from question number 11. Yeah. So English and Hindi both are there. So looking at question number 11, see, we will be looking at the nature of the question, why it was asked. Hi, Shahana, how are you? Hi, John. Okay, how was the paper, guys? So looking at the question, we can see Raja Ram Mohan Roy, right? This question came. So we know that these reformers, what role did they play? So we can easily expect question from the social religious reformers, from the regional reformers at the local level, every time UPSC asks. So what we have seen by 2025 paper is that the themes are repeated, but the question can be different, right? So always look at the themes and try to mug it up, the facts, right? Raja Ram Mohan Roy, this question is related to his thinking, right? He possessed great love and respect for the traditional philosophical system of the East. Is it correct or not? So, what is the question asking? Which of the statements given are correct? So, first statement is correct. Yes, he had great love and respect for the traditional philosophical system of the East. Plus, he wanted what? The he desired his countrymen to have the rational and the scientific approach also, east and west ka amalgamation, right? So he actually wanted this thing. So hi Najia, Nasreen, how are you? Okay, so he wanted this thing, right? So both of the statements are correct and answer is C. Now going to the next question is the non-cooperation program, which is like three questions came from this topic. So you can see what kind of importance it holds, right? Freedom movement, freedom struggle, freedom fighters, they all are very important in mains also, in prelims also. Okay, please understand the nature. And then NCM ke upar, there is a question that, see, what was non-cooperation? If we see the basic idea behind the non-cooperation is to what? Non-cooperate, being non-cooperative with the British government. And by what means? By different means. This question was very easy. History this time was very easy if you would have covered the basics, and you would have known the basic things, or PYQs also. If you have practice, then definitely your history paper or questions will be correct only. So what is there? Non-cooperation means that boycotting foreign goods, foreign schools, foreign universities, everything nature which has a nature of foreign, right? So first option is correct, that boycott of law courts and foreign clothes, it is correct that it was happening. Observance of strict non-violence, yes, non-violence was a feature of the uh, non-cooperation movement. Now, retention of titles. So, basic understanding level question it is. See, retention, it was not the retention but the rejection of the titles and honors given by the British government, right? So, this is not correct, okay? Retention of titles, no, rejection of the title and honors without using them in public. Okay, establishment of panchayat for settling dispute. This was happening because what we tried to do is we tried to non-cooperate with the government, so we had to have a system which will be serving as a settling dispute system, right? Where will the people go if they're not going to the government bodies? Then they will have a setup, right? They should have a setup. So these are correct, and third is wrong. So how many statements? See, UPSC has changed the kind of statement also, na statement based question came. So this time one more thing was introduced, was that, and big statements were there, and that made the paper lengthy, right? So answer is only three statements are correct. Now again, this is a repeated question, question number 13, which is talking about the irrigation device called Araghatta. Same question came in 2020 and it is very easy. So the answer is B, a large wheel with earthen pot, and it was a Persian wheel. Now, question number 14 is related to, again, we have discussed these topics in the sprint class, right? So what happened is, that who among the following rulers in ancient India had assumed the titles Matta Vilas, Vichitra Chitra, and Guna Bhara? So, Vichitra Chitra, it was Mahendra Varman I from the Pallava dynasty. This is also a favorite topic of the UPSC. So, answer is what? Answer is 1. Next is Fahian. Again, favorite. So, Fahian was who? Fahian, the Chinese pilgrim, traveled to India during the reign of Chandragupta II. We know this thing, right? Huansang visited during Harshvardhana's time. Okay, so this is also okay. Now, going to the question number 16 is again very easy and important topic. So what is happening is, who among the following led a military campaign against the kingdom of Sri Vijaya, the powerful maritime state which ruled the Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, Java, and the neighboring island? Okay, so answer is C. Rajendra 1, Chola. Okay, so Chola's question came. Now going to the question number 17. Mahajanpadas. We every year we expect questions from Mahajanpada, but what happens is nature. Theme is repeated, nature is changed, right? So this time they asked about the rivers or on which location, है ना? River flowing in the region. So is it correctly matched or not? So 4 options have been given. See these many options, 4 options, 5 options, or the 4, 5 statements made the paper very lengthy. We saw this thing. So students were fighting for the time. Same time, they have to do it in a short period of time and apply the mind also. And composure, that calmness is needed, right? So these all factors are there which might have played a role in making the paper difficult. I hope this screen is visible to everyone. Online student, is it visible? Can you say yes if everything is clear? You can see the words clearly, or should I expand it, zoom it? Because of the length of the question, I'm like zooming out. Hmm? Is it okay? Online students, I'm waiting for your response. Okay, let's move. So I'll zoom it. No problem. I'll zoom in. Okay. So question number 17 is related to Mahajanpadas. So what kind of questions are asked in Mahajanpadas usually? So they will be asking about the Mahajanpad and the capital. So these all are the Mahajanpads, and what UPSC used to ask is capitals. This time they have asked about the rivers, river flowing in the region. Okay, so Asmak. Asmak is in Godavari region. Is it correct or not? Yes, it is correct. Cambodge is not in Vipas, it is in Afghanistan. Cambodge, it is outside India, Afghanistan. Avanti, Mahanadi, it is also not correct. Kosla is Saryu, this is correct. So only 2 options are correct, and this is the answer, only 2 options. Okay, so match your answers also, guys. Because there will be what differences in the answer keys when you match the answers. Now this question is related to, see, the first Gandharv Mahavidyalaya music training school was set up. So this is obviously the difficult one, because this is asking about the location and the music training school which was set up by Vishnu Digambar Palushkar. What is his contribution? He tried to include the music in a formal setting, formal school setting. Huh? So this is his contribution. And 2024, it was in news. 2024, it was in news. UP, a program was conducted, and we can relate the program with this question. So the answer is D. This was constituted, this was constructed in the Lahore. Okay. Now, Ashokan inscription. I already told my students that, see, expect a question from Ashokan inscriptions. Why? Why? Can my students tell me why in the comment section? I told every student that Ashokan inscriptions will definitely be coming. Ashokan edicts related questions will be coming, because UNESCO has added the Ashokan edicts in the tentative list, right? So we can expect the question. These kind of changes only make the questions, the topics relevant, right? And UPSC is all about the relevancy of the topic. Yes or no? Okay. Ashokan inscription suggests that the Pradeshika, Rajapa, and Yukta were important officers leading to the administration. So they asked the question about the administration. So what are they responsible for? So they were responsible for the district level administration, not the provincial. I have seen the answer keys of many students. So they are like, they have marked provincial level administration. Okay. Now, again, non-cooperation movement. So, consider the following statement in respect of non-cooperation movement. The Congress declared the attainment of Swaraj by legitimate and peaceful means to be its objective. Is it correct? Yeah, it is correct. Now, one second. Second option is, I hope it is clear. If anything is not okay, please let me know in the comment section. I'm checking your comments also. Okay. If any issue is there. Now, second option is it was to be implemented in stages with civil disobedience and non-payment of taxes for the next stage. Read the statements very well. Okay. NCM was to be carried out in stages. First stage, some actions were decided. Second stage was this stage that if first stage is not fulfilled, then we will go to civil disobedience and non-payment of taxes for the next stage. Only if Swaraj did not come within a year and the government resorted to repression. So government was suppressing the fights, right? The non-cooperation, right? So we already saw. Okay, Srija. Oh, okay. A very good score in GS paper 1 and CSAT. Yeah, CSAT was tough this time and it was tougher than 2024 also. So all the best for you. I think let's see what is the after the result only we can see, right? Because answer keys are also different now, so we cannot rely. There is no perfect answer key, right? So UPSC also commits mistake. We saw last year, right? So please wait and be positive only and start preparing for mains. I think you should prepare for mains. It will be better for you because you'll be anyway prepared for the next year, right? And mains demands that kind of dedication, that kind of effort and hard work. Correct? So please start preparing, okay? And if you need any help, please contact us. We'll be ready and happy to help you, right? Okay, so what is the answer? So answer is both 1 and 2 is correct. Okay, now next question is question number 21. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. So let's go to question number 21. So this question was very difficult. Why are we saying that? See, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, nobody knows, nobody can count or remember the name of the countries that are member of the NATO, right? More than many countries are the member. So these six options were given, right? Six options are given and then these kind of answer is given. If they would have given the country's name like Sweden and Serbia and Croatia as the member, right? So elimination would have been easy, right? Why this question came? Because Sweden, what happened is there were members who were added in the NATO, right? So because of that reason, it became very important, and we should follow current affairs like this. Whenever any member is getting added to the any meeting or any organization, then we should take care of this thing in mind, right? So the answer is what? Who all are not the members of NATO, guys? What was the answer? So the answer is only four, right? B option. Only four were the members, right? Serbia is not the member. And what are the other countries not the member? Serbia is not the member and Austria is not the member. Correct? So only four is the answer. Next question is related to the, again, Andes Mountains. So longest mountain, right? Longest mountain. This is the longest continental mountain range. So who all countries are not in the Andes mountain chain? First, Bolivia, Colombia, Paraguay, Brazil, Ecuador, and Venezuela. This option is given. So the answer is what? Okay, 1 second. So the answer is only, again, only four countries are there, right? Only four countries are there. Paraguay and Brazil is not there, right? 22 ka answer kya hoga? 22's answer is only four. Option number C. Now, coming to the question number 23. Question number 23 is what? That they are asking about the lakes, lagoon, and then how many of them does the equator pass, right? So how many of them does the equator pass? This is also a difficult question only because we do not see mapping is very important. Now we can see that how many question came from the maps, right? So places in news becomes important and mapping also becomes important. So for this reason, please now onwards go and see the map very carefully. Okay, so these are the water bodies and how many of them pass through the equator. So no lake or lagoon passes through the equator, right? Equator. So answer would be D. None is passing, right? Now coming to the question number 24 related to turmeric. See, current affairs again. So these all are related to current affairs and this is also related to current affairs because turmeric board was in news in January also and this data is related to 2022 to 23. 1 second. So the answer to this question is what? 1 second. Okay. India is the largest producer and exporter of turmeric in the world. Yes, this is correct. More than 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in India. This is also correct. And Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are major turmeric producing states in India. This is also correct. All the three statements are correct. And see, big statements are given, right? So it takes time to study the statement. So what will be our answer? Our answer will be option number D, which is 1, 2 and 3. Now, coming to the question number 25. It is asking about the continental drift. So, conceptual based question. Which of the following are the evidence of the phenomena of continental drift? So, we know that questions might come from this phenomena. Yes or no? So the belt of ancient rocks from Brazil coast matches with what? With those from the Western Africa. Okay, next is the gold deposit of Ghana are derived from the Brazil plateau when the two continents lay side by side. And the Gondwana system of sediments from India is known to have its counterparts in 6 different land masses of the southern hemisphere. So all the three statements are correct if we see the golden continental drift theory. Right now, next is question number 26. See, this is checking your the knowledge, the basic knowledge that you have, and how do you apply to them. How do you think and answer the question, right? So, very important question is the amount of dust particle in the atmosphere is more in subtropical and temperate area than in equatorial and polar region. Is it correct? Right, next is subtropical and temperate have less dry winds. Okay, is it correct? So the options are very big. First is both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. These kind of questions came, right? And one more option was added this time, was that both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, and it explains statement 1. Like that option was also added this time, right? So now B is both statement 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. So is this correct? So answer would be what? C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is not correct. So 26 ka answer would be answer number C. Now going to the question number 27. Okay. So question number 27 is, consider the following statement. Statement 1 is what? That in January, in the northern hemisphere, the isotherm bent towards equatorward while crossing the landmass and poleward while crossing the ocean. So it is talking about the isotherms, right? Next is in January, over the oceans is warmer than over the landmass. The air over the ocean is warmer than the over the landmass in the northern hemisphere. So which is the correct statement? Answer would be A. Both statement. Question number 27 ka answer would be A. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, right? And statement 2 explains statement 1. 27 answer. Now 28. Okay, it is about chalk. So see, here three statements are three statements are given, right? Yes, three statements are given. So first statement is, in context of effect of water on rocks, chalk is known as a very permeable rock, whereas clay is known as quite an impermeable or least permeable rock. Concept based question, right? Pura total concept based question. Next is what? Chalk is porous and hence can absorb water. We see that chalk is porous and it enhances water. Clay is not at all porous. Do you think that statement 3 is correct or not correct? Statement 3 is not correct, right? So if we see the options by looking at the statement 3 which is not correct, right? What are the options? Option A is statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, but statement 3 is not correct. So elimination technique also we can use. There were many questions where we could have used the elimination technique smartly and then we could have got the answer. So is A answer is eliminated. Second is B. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct. No, statement 3 is not correct, right? So we can eliminate option B also. Now coming to the third option is what? That only one of the statement 2 and 3 is correct and that explains statement 1. Is it correct? So yes, this will be our answer. C will be the answer of our question and this is not correct. Okay. So C is the answer. Okay. So whenever we are in the examination hall, see, there is a pressure, there is a stress also, but that we should do what? We should be very much habitable with that kind of environment if we are preparing for UPSC. This is the challenge, right? Knowing all the things and not applying that, will not help, right? So this we have to learn. Now, without the atmosphere, now see, consider the following statement. It is talking about the atmosphere. Temperature would be well below freezing point everywhere on the Earth's surface. So it is saying, see, extreme statement everywhere. If it would have not used this everywhere, then this statement would have been correct. So this statement will not be correct. Heat absorbed and trapped by the atmosphere maintains our planet's average temperature. So question number 29. What do you think? First statement is correct. First is not correct. Second is correct. Now, atmosphere gases like carbon dioxide are particularly good at absorbing and trapping radiation. This is also correct. So what is the answer, guys? First is not correct. Elimination technique. We can say that the answer is D, right? First is not correct because everywhere. So elimination technique again is helpful. Now, question number 30. Rashtriya Gokul Mission. This question came in previous year also, same time. This was in news also, Rashtriya Gokul Mission. Why? Because there was one award which was given around September month, I think. So one award was given and it was under Rashtriya Gokul Mission. So current affair related. So whatever topic is in current affairs, guys, please, it is not important. See, this mission was introduced in 2014. So don't think that missions will not be asked if they have once gone, once launched and done. No, they are repeated again. So UPSC can also ask the same topic again. So related to Rashtriya Gokul Mission, these two statements are given. First statement is, it is important for the upliftment of rural poor as majority of low producing indigenous animals are small marginal farmers and landless laborers. First statement is correct. What are the keywords that we should look at is small, marginal and landless labor. Correct hai? And indigenous animal. Now, what was the motive? It was initiated to promote indigenous cattle and buffalo rearing and conservation in a scientific and holistic manner. Same. This mission I have discussed in the class, and these two were the points that were discussed. So both the points are correct, and answer would be C, both 1 and 2, right? So this is the answer for the question. Now, next question is what? 31. Okay, 1 second. 31. Question number 31 is related to what? Studies indicate that carbon dioxide emission from cement industry account for more than 5% of global carbon emission. So this is correct. Next is silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement. So this is also correct statement. Now the third statement is what? Limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for cement manufacturing. So this is also correct. So answer is what? The correct option is both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one explains the statement 1, right? So B is the correct answer for this question. Now again, this topic was there in news. COP29 was in news. COP28 was in news, right? So current affairs. So we should go through all the things that are in the current affairs. So statement 1 is related to the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference. India refrained from signing the Declaration on Climate and Health. So this is correct. Yes or no? Second is the COP Declaration on Climate Health is a binding declaration. This is not correct. There is no binding declaration. It does not mandate any legal obligation. No legal obligation is there on any country. Okay. And third is correct. It is a general statement that if India, why India refrained from signing it? Because if India would sign it, if decarbonizing is happening, then the resilience of the healthcare system may be compromised. India does not have that much of infrastructure, right, to decarbonize the healthcare structure. So these two statements are correct. So what would be the answer? Let's see the options. 1 second. Okay. So the answer would be C, right? Only one of the statements 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. Yes or no? Because second statement is wrong. Now, question number 33. Consider the following statement again. So it is saying that scientific studies suggest that a shift is taking place in the Earth's rotation and axis. And statement 2 is what? Solar flares and associated coronal mass ejections are doing what? Bombarded the Earth's atmosphere with tremendous amount of energy. And third statement is what? that as the Earth's polar ice melts, the water tends to move towards the equator. Answer would be what? Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one is explaining the statement 1. Yes or no? So this will be the answer, option B. Okay. See, we are going for our students, what we are going to do is, for all of you, we are going to bring the subject wide analysis and discussion also, and we'll be telling you, highlighting the points also that we discuss in the class. So a separate videos will also be coming in the future, and then you can watch those videos also for your benefit. Proper detailed discussion will be there subject wise. Okay, so right now currently we are discussing the whole paper. Okay. Question number 34. This was also in news because sustainable development, climate change, right? So, Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on climate change is frequently discussed in global discussion. Correct hai, right? It is discussed on sustainable development and climate change. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on climate change sets out the principle of carbon market. See, carbon market was in news, right? So, carbon market came. Okay, this is also correct. And third statement is also correct, that Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change intends to promote inter-country non-market strategy to reach their climate targets. So, answer is A. Both 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. Now, going to the next question, question number 35. Very good question, and it is also related to current affairs. Which of the following launched the Nature Solutions Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific? So, answer is Asian Development Bank, the Asian Development Bank. And see, these kind of questions are coming. Whatever term is there, whenever any bank or any organization is launching something and these kind of facilities are provided, right? Any kind of service is provided. So those also are ours, and we have seen in previous year also and this year also. Nature Solution Finance Hub was asked. Next question is related to, one second, question number 36, direct air capture. Okay. So this is an emerging technology. See, emerging science and technology. Okay, emerging technology. Which of the following statement is are correct? It can be used as a way of carbon sequestration. Correct hai. Direct air capture means that we are capturing the air, right? Air, and then we are utilizing it or sequestering it, right? Next is, it can be valuable approach for plastic production and food processing. Yes, this carbon we are using for plastic production, for goods, and then food also. Yes or no? Next is, in aviation, it can be a source of carbon for combining with hydrogen to create synthetic low carbon fuel. Yes, very much correct. Synthetic. So, sustainable air fuel, sustainable aviation fuel is there. Synthetic sustainable aviation fuel is there, and this is also in news because we have to lower the carbon footprint in aviation sector also. So, there we can use this carbon as sustainable aviation fuel. This was also in news, and this is also current related thing. So, the answer would be what? All the statements related to this are correct. Answer would be option number C. 1, 2, and 3 all are correct, right? Next is species. Okay. So regarding peacock tarantula, Guti tarantula, consider the following statement. So it is an omnivorous crustacean. No, it is not a crustacean. It is what? It is a spider, right? So many of the students might have searched about it now. So it is what? It is a spider. And then it is its natural habitat in India is only limited to some forest areas. Yes. And then it is arboreal species and it lives on trees, right? So correct hai. So two statements are correct. First is not correct. And then answer becomes what? Answer is D. Second and third is correct, right? Now, next question is question number 38. Carbon dioxide. See, again, many times we have seen questions from carbon dioxide, and this time also we saw. Okay, let's look at the options. Okay, carbon dioxide emission in India are less. Okay, less than 0.5 ton carbon dioxide per capita. Once again, this is not correct, right? It is not 0.5 ton, it is 1.9 ton, 1.9 ton, I guess, right? This is India's emission per capita, right? And then this becomes wrong. So what we can do is we can eliminate the options first, and it is asking about the correct statement. So First statement we can eliminate, becomes only 2 statements are remaining. In terms of CO2 emissions from fuel combustion, India ranks second in Asia Pacific. Correct hai? This is correct. So China is the first and India is the second. Now, electricity and heat producers are the largest sources of CO2 emission in India. Correct is, so answer becomes C, second and third. So they ask about the sources of emission also. Okay. Next is question number 39, which is related to the plant and the description. So cassava, ginger, Malabar spinach, mint and papaya. What are these plants? So they are telling you about what? One second. Yeah. Is it a woody shrub? Is it herb with pseudostem? It is a herbaceous climber, annual shrub or woody shrub. Papaya is not woody shrub. This is wrongly matched. Annual shrub, it is also not annual shrub mint. So these 2 options are not correct. Only 3 options are correct. So what will be the answer? Option B will be the answer. Only 3. Okay, guys. Now, next is what? Next is question number 40, which is related to the rainforest. Now, this is also in current affairs, guys. Please see that whatever, see, UPSC syllabus also mentions that you should have a good knowledge of everything and not specialized knowledge. A well-educated person should have that much knowledge, that much understanding that they are able to express it clearly, right? If you're talking about rainforest, if you're talking about oxygen production, which thing is producing the more oxygen, this is very easily understood, and if you're reading it, conceptual clarity should be there, and then you can apply the knowledge, right? So this was related to that only, that rainforests produce more oxygen than produced by oceans with reference to planet Earth. So Earth ke bare mein bhi they have asked, Earth related to Earth. So do they produce more oxygen than produced by the oceans? Is it correct? No, this is not correct, because ocean produces more oxygen than anything, right? Now, the second option is marine phytoplankton and photosynthetic bacteria produce about 50% of world's oxygen. Not 50, more than 50. See, marine means that it is related to ocean and sea only. So, second statement is correct, right? But not about 50, more than 50, right? Well oxygenated surface water contains several folds higher oxygen than that in atmosphere, right? So is it correct? Option number 3. Well oxygenated surface water contains several folds higher than that in atmospheric air. So the answer would be what? B only, right? Third is not correct. Answer would be B. Okay. Now going to question number, okay, this is related to science and technology. So now we will go to, just wait a second, we'll go to question number 57. Okay. We'll go to question number 57 now. So it was like here and there some questions were there, right? Okay, question number 57. Yeah. This is related to boards. Another new kind of question that have come, like it was asked few years back and again it has been asked. So question is what? That related to the organization and the ministry, under which ministry it is. So this is also another kind of question that UPSC usually asks. So prepare yourself in a holistic manner, right? Question, the National Automotive Board, and it comes under which ministry? So automotive is related to auto sector, right? Auto sector. So it comes under heavy industries. It will come under heavy industries. This is not correctly matched. Next is COIR board. So COIR board is a MSME under Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, right? So second is also not correct. So these 2 are not correct. Third is correct. The National Center for Trade Information is MSME only. It gives information about the trade related thing to the Ministry of MSME. So only one option becomes A only. Right now, question number 60. This is again interesting kind of question which can be asked. So you should know which board has which responsibility, right? And that can be asked. So this is also very good kind of question that is there, right? And consider the following activities. Now, how many of the above activities are regulated by Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board in our country? Again, very good question. Which of the following activities are what? Production of crude oil. Now, refining, storage and distribution of petroleum, marketing and sale of petroleum product, and production of natural gas. How many of these are the activities regulated by Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board in our country? So see, there are 2 terms. One is downstream, one is upstream, right? So the first activity is related to the upstream activity, and the last activity is also related to the upstream activity, and these are related to the downstream. So these two options are correct. Petroleum board has the responsibility of refining, storage, distribution, marketing, sale. This is the kind, but production is not under the regulation of the petroleum board. Production related activities are not. So these two options can be eliminated. So answer becomes what? Only two, which is B option, right? Okay, now the next question which we have to discuss is question number 71. One second. Okay. Again, we'll move to history section. Question number 71. Okay, guys. How is the session going on? Online students, reply. Reply in the comment section. Now 71 question. Okay. Session is going good. Okay. Now 71 question is, sedition has become my religion was the famous statement given by Gandhiji at the time of what? So he gave this sedition statement at the time of salt law, publicly violating salt law at Dandi. Gandhiji's ideas were also changing, right? Looking at the intention or the motive of people, like looking at the mindset of the people, he was also changing himself, and that was a very good move, right? Now, question number 72, easier, very, very easy question from Harappa. This question is like a, if anybody is reading history, they should know this answer, right? Easiest question in history. Now, question number 72 is the famous female figurine known as dancing girl found at Mohenjo-daro. They have asked about the thing that it is made up of what? So, carnelian beads or clay or bronze or gold. So, answer is C. Option number C, dancing girl is bronze, right? Now, the next question is, who provided legal defense? This is the complicated question, right? Who provided legal defense to the people arrested in the aftermath of Chauri Chaura incident? Again, NCM related question. So the answer is Madan Mohan Malviya and Krishnakant, factual based question, right? Next is question number 74, which is related to the Gandhiji again. See, Gandhiji is an important topic of UPSC, favorite topic, right? Again and again, we see that questions are coming, so you should prepare very well, right? Subsequently to which one of the following events Gandhiji, who consistently opposed untouchability and appealed to its eradication from all spheres, decided to include the upliftment of Harijans in its political and social program? What is the answer? Guys, answer is the Pune Pact, Harijans, right? So answer is A. Next is question number 75. Consider the following fruits. This is a very complicated question, like students are finding difficulty to find this answer, but actually the answer is all the fruits, they were introduced by the Portuguese in India in the 16th and 17th century. So answer would be C, papaya, pineapple and guava. All three were introduced by Portuguese. Okay. Now, another question, which is like from the time zones. See, difficult questions, right? Not everybody could answer the question. So, how many of the above countries have more than 4 time zones? So, if you know, it is okay. Otherwise, the answer would be what? Only 4. Only 4 have the more than 4 time zones, right? Now, going to the question number 77. Question number 77 is related to, again, the time related concept is there, that another in Siberia and Nome in Alaska are a few kilometers from each other. But when people are waking up and getting set for breakfast in these cities, what is happening is it would be different days, right? Same time zone they are following. Okay, when it is Monday in another, it is Tuesday in Nome. Now, which of the statement is our correct? So, what will be the answer of this question? Both 1 and 2 are correct, right? Option would be C. Now, next question is what? Very easy again. This was in news. Periyar EV Ramaswamy Naikar was in news, right? And it is related to current affair, and then it was asked in history section. So, who among the following was the founder of the self-respect movement? Option is A, right? Next question is related to history. 1 second. Yeah, not history, but the country and the resource rich, right? So, This is what country and the resource rich in which resource it is rich, right? So these all things, see, cobalt, lithium, nickel, they all are in news, yes or no? Because they are what? Some are rare earth, some are critical minerals. So critical and rare earth mineral also questions we saw, that one was on rare earth question, critical mineral question also came. So these all are hot topics, right? Every time they are in news. So you should know that any kind of question can come from this thing. And major producers of some these reserves are in news. Lithium, nickel, which are very important. Diamond is in news since 3-4 years, right? Many times it is in news. Now countries they have given Botswana, Chile, and Indonesia, and then we have to find answer that in how many countries, in how many of the above rows is the given information correctly matched. So answer would be only 2, and you tell me that which country is a resource rich in what kind of resource. Okay, so you give me the answer in the comment section. Now going to question number 80, again region is asked and country is asked. So these countries are also related to what? World history, right? Again, this is related to mapping area also. So Sardinia. So what the answer for this question is? Only 2 again. In how many of the above rows is the given information correctly matched, right? So only 2 will be the answer for this question also. So mapping based question. Now we will go to question number, I think 90. Yeah, we'll go to question number 90 now. 1 second. Yeah. Question number 90. Okay. That is also related to the current affairs session. 1 second. Yeah. Here comes the question number 90. It was in news, nature restoration law, and it is one of a kind of a law. Sorry. One of a kind of a law. It is nature restoration law, first of its kind, right? And it was in news. We have covered this in current affairs class also. So please, very carefully, you have to know that current affair has a weightage, and it is very important to go through the current affairs every day, weekly basis and monthly basis. There should be a strategy. There should be a good organizational skill, right, to cover the current affairs. So this is nature restoration law to tackle climate change and biodiversity laws. Climate change and biodiversity laws. Every time this is in news, right? So this is devised by whom? The European Union. Answer is the European Union is devising this law, right? Now, next question is related to polity, but we will not cover this. Okay, BIMSTEC. This question is important, related to the foreign affairs, right? Okay, now consider the following statement in respect of BIMSTEC. So, it is a regional organization, yes, we know that, consisting of 7 member states till January 2025. So they have given this thing also, right? Next is it came into existence with the signing of the Dhaka Declaration. Is it correct? It is not Dhaka Declaration, but it is Bangkok Declaration 1997, right? Next is Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Nepal are founding member. No, Thailand is not the founding member. Myanmar is the founding member, right? Myanmar was the founding member. So what happens is only one state. Fourth statement is also there. In BIMSTEC, the subsector of tourism is being led by India. So fourth is correct, first is correct, second and third is not correct. So answer would be option number C. So this is how the elimination technique is also working now, right? First is not correct, first is correct, sorry, and then fourth is not correct, third is not correct, and second is not third and second is not correct. Okay. Okay. This topic also we discussed in the current affairs class, Gandhi Peace Prize, and this was given around 2024, I think, end of the year. Who among the following are members of the jury to select the recipient of Gandhi Peace Prize? Who comes under the member of the jury? Very, what do we say, that applying the knowledge kind of question, right? So the options are the President of India, Prime Minister of India, Chief Justice of India, Leader of Opposition. So President is never a member of a jury of any body, right? He will not be a jury. So we can eliminate the option 1. So what option is remaining? So answer would be C. Second, third, and fourth. They are the members of the jury of Gandhi Peace Prize, right? Now, question number 94 is science and technology. And then going to question number 95. Again, current affair related. This was in news. Many videos we have seen which were trending during this time when this AI summit was happening in France. Global AI Summit, first of its kind. Yes or no, guys? First of its kind, right? We were expecting question on this, right? So consider the following statements related regarding AI Action Summit held in Grand Palais, Paris in February 2025. Now, co-chaired with India. Is the statement correct? Yes. This was correct. Co-chaired with India and events built on the advances made at the Bletchley Park Summit held in 2023 and Seoul Summit held in 2024. This is the correct answer. And then second statement is along with other countries, US and UK signed the Declaration on Inclusive and Sustainable AI. No, they did not sign. US and UK refrained from signing. It was all over in the news, especially mentioning in US and UK. So that is why this statement has been given, right? Because they did not sign. So second option is not correct. Answer would be one only, right? Because first statement is correct. Now, this is a difficult question, but you should know when these kind of questions are coming, usually what happens is we mark all the options right? Okay, so this is the one way of handling the question like this. Okay, so difficulty level is too much. They have asked till 2029 also, right? Some might have remembered 2026 theme or 2027, but 2029 is too much, right? Too much detailing is demanded here, but we do not have that thing, right? Okay. International Year of Women Farmer 2026. So basically, all of the four are correctly matched. Everything is correctly matched. So sometimes we have to take risk, okay? Then only we'll be able to get the good score. But logical risk should be allowed. Logical risk. Not every kind of risk we can take, right? Everywhere marking the same thing. No, no, no. This is not allowed. Okay, now question number once again, BRICS. Related to BRICS, 16th BRICS Summit was held under the chairmanship of Russia and Kazan. Indonesia has become a full member of BRICS. These kind of questions are coming. The theme of the BRICS was strengthening. See the theme. Why the themes are important? Because themes are us. The theme of the 16th BRICS Summit was strengthening multiculturalism for just global development and security. So, first is not correct. Second and third statement is correct statement. And if we talk about Lokpal, Lokpal was also in news because why? First anniversary was celebrated for the Lokpal foundation of Lokpal in January month. So this was in news, current affairs, right? And the static part has been asked from Lokpal. So this will be discussed in the polity section. Now coming to the question number 99. Again, it is a difficult question. Why we are saying a difficult question? Because it is asking about the score. See, we never memorize the scores, right? But these kind of question, 2-3 questions will be that much difficult that you will not be able to solve it. What you can do is you can either take a risk, logical risk, but in this case this is not possible, right? The event was held in Delhi, India. And then second option is Indian men beat Nepal. Yes, they beat Nepal, but score is different. And in the final to become the world champion in men category, Indian women beat Nepal with a score of 54 to 36. So our answer is only first statement is correct, other two statements are wrong. Okay, now coming to the last question, which is again related to the current affairs, very much in news, right? So the question is, consider the following statement. In the final of 45th Chess Olympiad held in 2024, Gukesh Dhomara, who became the world's youngest winner after defeating Russian player Ian Nepomniachtchi, right? So this is correct. Answer is one only. Second option is not correct. Abhimanyu Mishra, American chess player, holds the record of becoming world's youngest grandmaster. No, this is not correct. So answer is A only. So this was the discussion part related to current affairs, history, geography and environment. And I hope you like the session. And we have given an overview of all the things that are required. So what should be your strategy for the next year? See, keep it very simple. Don't confuse yourself, but understand the trend, the pattern, the nature of the question that are asked, and observe it and make a organized structure. Help yourself, help your friends also, and do not get confused. First of all, take mentors help, take faculty's help if you need, but do not do mistake. If you're serious for UPSC, if you are dedicatedly, wholeheartedly preparing for UPSC preparation, we all are with you, right? Prepare well and make a structure. If you are not able to understand anything, come forward and ask. We are there to help you, and we are starting a mains mentorship program. It starts on 2nd of June and the first test will be on 8th of June. So enroll it in the mains mentorship program and start the mains preparation. All those students who have cleared, they can start and share with your friends also, and whoever is preparing for the mains this time, right? I hope you like the session, and write in the comment section also if you like the session, give a thumbs up. And now I would like to call Faisal sir, who will be taking the polity discussion, right? Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, guys. Now we'll start with the Indian polity questions. In series number A, polity questions are starting from question number 51. We come back to the question number 51. In this year, UPSC Prelims examination, they have included polity questions in different parts. Like some questions are in between 51 to 59, some questions are between 86 to 89, then few questions are there at the end. So we'll go through each questions, and total, when we count the total number of questions, 14 questions were directly from Indian polity, and few questions were linked to the Indian economy subjects. Mostly independent bodies were asked. Starting from question number 51. Yes. Question number 51. This is a question with respect to the ordinance making power of the president. In this year, we have seen that 3 questions were from executive, and within this executive chapter, they have asked a question with respect to powers of the president, executive power of the president. In this question, with respect to that, the ordinance making power of the president, which are covered under Article 123 for president. Ordinance making power is also available to Office of Governor under Article 213, 213, 13. We'll go through the statement 1. With reference to the Indian polity, we consider the following statement. An ordinance can amend any central act. If the president is issuing this ordinance, yes, they can do this ordinance related to central subjects, union subjects. Yes, whatever the power has been available to Parliament, same way ordinance can be issued. Statement 1 is correct. An ordinance can abridge a fundamental rights. It cannot violate fundamental rights that we studied under Article 13 subclause 2. This is part of our fundamental rights chapter as well. We studied about the laws coming under Article 13. If through ordinance, if any of the fundamental right is violated or inconsistent, then we can challenge in judiciary. Judiciary can declare such a law are unconstitutional. So statement 2 is incorrect. When we know the statement 2 is incorrect, we can directly eliminate the option include statement 2. For example, A, we can eliminate. We can also eliminate option B. We can also eliminate option D. And finally, we left with the option C. The answer is option C, 1 and 3. 3 is also correct. An ordinance can come into effect from the back date. It can have a retrospective effects. Ordinance can have that retrospective effect like a parliamentary law. So 3 is correct. 1 is also correct. Answer is C. Moving to the next. Question number 52. This was a difficult question from Indian polity, but not directly from Indian polity, but it is related to the state reorganization, reunion and its territory chapter, the state reorganization chapter. We will go through these questions. State, they have given questions like which one of the following pair is correctly matched. On the one side, they have given a list of states, and the other side, the description related to that. Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, the capital is named after a fort. The capital city of the Arunachal Pradesh is Itanagar. Yes, this statement is correct because this capital is named after Ita Fort. The state has 2 national parks. Yes, that is also correct. Statement 1 is correct. Nagaland, the state came to existence through on the basis of Constitutional Amendment Act. It was 13th Constitutional Amendment Act because they have given certain power to this Naga community. Because a certain power has been specially given to the Naga community, the state which came into existence through the 13th Constitutional Amendment Act. That was correct. Tripura state, it was initially part of Part C states were the commissioners provinces during the British Indian territory, and later it was considered as an union territory through the Reorganization State Act 1956. Later it has got a statehood status, so the statement option 3 were correct. all the pairs were correct. So the answer would be all the three were correct. Now coming into the question number 53. It is again another questions asked about the independent bodies. With reference to the consider the following, they have given list of independent body like Interstate Council, National Security Council, Zonal Council. The question is here, how many of the above were established as per the provisions of the Constitution? Among these body, only one body is established through the provisions of the Constitution, that is Interstate Council under Article 263, chaired by Prime Minister. Only one is correct. The zonal council was established through the State Reorganization Act. It's a statutory body. Then we have National Security Council, which is an executive body, not a constitutional body. So the answer is option A. Only one is correct. In the State Council. In the State Council is only the constitutional body. Now coming into the next question, question number 54. This question was with respect to, for example, Constitution of India explicitly mentioned in certain sphere of the governor, the constitutional discretionary power of the president. Statement 1 is correct because when we go through the certain provisions of the constitutions, the governor can take decision without an aid and advice of the council of ministers of the concerned state. So through certain ways, for example, report can be submitted to the President of India regarding when the state or government is not functioning according to constitutional provision, or the constitutional measures are failed in the constitution, or otherwise certain bill can be reserved for the consideration of President under Article 200. These are certain situations where the constitutional provision is giving a discretionary power to the governor. So statement 1 is correct. President of India can of his or reserve the bill by a state legislature for his or consideration without being forwarded by the governor of the state. It cannot be done by the president. The governor has the power under Article 200, can reserve certain bill for the consideration of president. President cannot do so without any consideration given by the governor. Statement 2 is incorrect. The answer to this question is option A, 1 only correct. Next, question number 55. Question number 55. This question is an integrated question of both the three of DPSP, fundamental rights and fundamental duties. They have given provisions of the Indian Constitution are coming under which of the following. So we have to identify which of the above pairs are correctly matched. Statement 1, separation of judiciary from executive, which are covered under Article 50 of Directive Principles of State Policy. This statement is correct because that pair is correct. Valuing, preserving rich heritage of composite culture. Yes, it is a fundamental duty coming under Article 51A. This statement is also correct. Then statement 3, prohibition of employment of the children below age of 14 years in factories, hazardous job. Yes, that is prohibited under Article 24 of Indian Constitution, which is part of fundamental rights. So the statements 3 is also correct. All the pairs were correct. So the answer is all the 3. Option C is correct. Option C is correct. Now moving on to next question. Question number 56. Every year usually UPSC asks question from the scheduled areas, either 5th schedule or 6th schedule areas. This year also one question was there from the 5th schedule areas. That was this question. With reference to the Constitution of India. So only with respect to Constitution of India, if an area in a state is declared as a scheduled area under 5th schedule. So again, it's an understanding based question. We'll go through 2 statements. We have to identify which one is correct. The state government loses its executive power in such area and a local body assume total administration. Under this 5th constitution of the 5th schedule of Indian Constitution, there is no such a provision where whenever we declare an area as coming under scheduled 5th scheduled areas, the state government does not they will not lose their executive power. Rather, they will retain the executive power and governor of the concerned state may have certain more power regarding the modification, regulation of this administration of these scheduled areas. In this case, statement 1 went wrong. It's an extreme statement and also a negative statement. We can eliminate statement 1. Then we left with the statement 2. The union government can take over the total administration of such area under certain circumstances on the recommendation of governor. So mostly when we have gone through these answers key provided by different institutions, there's a debate over whether the 2 is correct or incorrect. If you go through the provisions of the constitutions, there is no direct or explicit provision provided that whenever the governor submit a report, under 5th schedule of Indian's constitution, the governor of the concerned state, when a state is coming under the 5th schedule area, the governor can submit a report. But nowhere it is mentioned that the administration of this area will be completely taken over by the union government. Rather, the union government can direct the states regarding the administration of these areas. In that regards, the most reasonable answer for these particular questions can be even this second statement can also go wrong, and the answer for this question could be option D. So mostly some of the answers keys were mentioned option B as well. This is such type of question that we have an ambiguity and debate over these, which one is the accurate answers. Most reasonable when we go through the provisions of the constitution, especially the question is expected to take the answer on, consider the answer only as per the provisions of the constitution. The answer would be option D, neither 1 nor 2. Moving on to next question number 57 is another question related to independent bodies but are related to the Indian economy. So this will not comes under our Indian polity discussion. Coming to the next question number 58 is again another question with respect to amendment of Indian constitutions. Here they have given list of subjects, and the question is asked to identify, for example, for constitutional amendment with respect to which of the above, like listing a union list within our 7th schedule of Indian constitution, extending the executive power of the state government, or we are making some changes to the conditions for the office of the governor. Among these above subjects, for a constitutional amendments that would require a ratification by the legislature, not less than 1/2 of the state is required before presenting the bill to the President of India. Especially we know that regarding the amendment of Indian constitution, if any amendment provision affect the federal power, then it also requires the ratifications or approval of the concerned like states in the half of the states. So these provisions were expected. In this regard, when we go through these statements, statement 1 list one union list in the 7th schedule. 7th schedule is dealing with the division of power between union and the state governments. Whenever we are making any changes to maybe union list or states list or country list, this is affecting the federal power where dealing with the division of power between central and the state. In such regard, yes, we need ratification of states. Then extent of the executive power of the states. This also will affect the powers of the states, or extending the executive power is also considered as the part of the federal power. So in such cases, yes, we need ratification. Then the third one, conditions of the governor office. Regarding when we are making changes to the conditions of the governor office, it is not directly affecting the federal power. So since it is not affecting directly the federal power, this can be changed or this amendment can be made by the parliament alone without ratification of states. Only 1 and 2 is correct. So the answer to this question is, we can eliminate option 3. And finally, we left with the option A, 1 and 2. Question number 59. Question number 59. With reference to the Indian polity, consider the following statement. Governor of the state is not answerable. So this is with respect to the privileges and immunities to certain officers like president, governor, MP, MLA. These are part of executive, these are also part of legislature. But when we study fundamental rights under Article 14, we studied about the exception to the Article 14. There are certain officers which they enjoy certain privilege and immunities. Regarding this here, the governor of the concerned state is not answerable to any court for the exercise and performance of their power and duties. This statement is correct. They are not answerable. No criminal proceeding shall be initiated or continued when they are in office. Yes, this statement is also correct. Members of state legislature are not liable to any proceeding in any court in with respect to anything within they said in the house. Yes, this is part of parliamentary privilege available to the members of state legislature. Whatever they said inside the parliament, the court cannot interfere. Separation of power. So this statement is also correct. All the statements were correct. The answer to this question is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Option D. Now the next questions with respect to Indian polity is coming from the question from 86. The Indian polity questions are continued from again from question number 86. We'll come back to the 86th question. We'll be dealing with only Indian polity questions. Yes, we have the 86th question here. This question was with respect to the pardoning power of the president, executive power, and president. We studied about the president's executive, judicial, legislative, financial powers. When we studied this executive chapter regarding the office of president, we'll study detail about the judicial power of the president, specifically about the pardoning power of the president. This question was with respect to that. Consider the following statement regarding the pardoning power of the president of India. The exercise of this power of the president can be subjected to limited judicial review. When we studied this topic and discussed in the class, we discussed that this power of the president under Article 72, the decision that has been taken by the president, in this case pardoning power, if these actions of the president, if that is at some kind of bad faith or arbitrary, then we can challenge in judiciary. A limited level of judicial review is available in case of the pardoning power exercised by President of India. So this statement is correct. Limited judicial review is available. Regarding the second statement, we know that Constitution has not guaranteed any discretionary power to the President of India. But President of India enjoy only certain situational discretion, no constitutional discretion. In case of even pardoning power exercised by the President of India under Article 72, this is not a discretionary power. President has to take the decision with aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. Even Article 74, it is mandatory that the President of India has to follow this aid and advice given by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Even this case regarding pardoning power, we can submit mercy petition to the president. President would submit this mercy petition before the Home Ministry. Ministry of Home Affairs will submit this request and mercy petition before the cabinet. And the cabinet will take a decision as per the decision has been taken by the cabinet headed by the Prime Minister. The decision will be followed by the president. So that's the reason that president cannot exercise this pardoning power without aid and advice of the central government. Second statement is incorrect. So they are asking about to identify the correct statements. Option A, one only is the correct statements. Answer is option A. Now coming into 87th question. This from the parliament regarding the office of speaker. Every year one question usually comes from with respect to presiding officers, either with respect to speaker or chairperson or like that, or deputy speaker. This year they have asked about the speaker office. Regarding the office of speaker, statement 1. On the dissolution of House of People, that is Lok Sabha, the Speaker shall not vacate their office until immediately before the first meeting of the House of the People. This is a basic knowledge that we should have. When Lok Sabha is dissolved, the Speaker office will not vacate immediately, will continue till the first meeting of the new Lok Sabha starts. So statement 1 is correct. Second statements, according to the provisions of the Constitution, a member of the House of the People on being elected as Speaker shall resign from the political party immediately. In the context of Indian polity, we know that even though we elect a speaker who is a member of the Sabha, even though we elect a speaker, the speaker will not resign. The speaker does not have to resign from their membership of the political party. They will continue the membership of the political party. That's a basic knowledge that we should have. There is no such provisions within our Indian constitution where the speaker should resign from their membership of the political party. There is no such things. So statement 2 is incorrect. This question is very easy if you know the statement 2 is incorrect. If the second statement is incorrect, we can directly eliminate the option included, the statement 2, and finally we left with the option C, 1 and 3 are correct. Already we have confirmed that statement 1 is correct, then statement 3 is also correct. The answer is 1 and 3. The statement 3 was regarding the removal of speaker. That is a effective majority of the Lok Sabha. Question number 88. This is regarding the disqualification member under 10th schedule of Indian Constitution. There were a lot of current affairs were there, repeatedly news were there with respect to the defection. So you can go through the statements. Statement 1, if any question arises as to the whether a member of the House of the People has become a subject to disqualification under the 10th schedule of Indian Constitution, President decision accordance with the opinion of the Council of Union Ministers shall be final. In case of 10th schedule, Speaker has the final authority to decide the disqualification member on the ground of this defection, on the ground of when a member who is a member of that house is defected to another party and other grounds mentioned in the 10th schedule. The authority, the final say on this regard is with the Speaker, not with the President of India. Statement 1 is incorrect. There is no mention of the word political party in the Constitution of India. A tricky statements. Originally, when we refer to the Indian Constitution, nowhere it has mentioned the term political party. But with addition of 10th schedule of Indian Constitution, it was added to the Constitution through the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1985. This amendment added certain ground for disqualification on the ground of defection. In this ground, which also include if any member who switch their party to another political party. Since this ground has been mentioned in this 10th schedule, this provision we can see now a term political party. Now under 10th schedule of Indian Constitution, we can see the term mentioned political party. But nowhere Indian Constitution mentioned right to form political party, and nowhere in Indian Constitution define what exactly mean by political party. But since the statement mentioned that, the statement is said that there is no mention of the word political party when wrong, because political party term has been mentioned currently in our 10th schedule of Indian Constitution. So both went wrong. Answer is D, neither one nor two. Moving on to the next question number 89. This is a question based on current affair. Recently, there was a current affair related to central government recently. Consider certain minor minerals and they converted into a major mineral. In this context, some topic were related to here regarding the powers of the states regarding making rules for considering which are minor mineral, which are major mineral. So that's why this question was asked in this year because of it was mentioned in the news. We can go through this statement, assertion and reasoning based questions. If these two statement type questions were asked, we can conclude we can come up with a clue. We'll get a clue from the option itself. When we go through each of these options, at least one of the statement is correct. Because option A say that both are correct. Option B also say that both are correct. C say that at least one of the statement is correct. That is statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Option D says that statement 1 is not correct, statement 2 is correct. But nowhere in the option mentioned neither one nor two. So clue from the option we know that among these two, out of these two statements, at least one anyway is correct. In India, we can go to the statements. In India, state governments have no power for making rule for grant of concessions with respect to the extraction of minor minerals, even though such minerals are located in their territories. So some extreme keyword were mentioned to make the statements incorrect. For example, state government does not have power. Negative statements, they have certain power in making rules regarding the like minor mineral, which are part of state subjects. So that's the reason the statement 1 went wrong. If you just know that statement 1 went wrong, then we can come to conclusion that the statement option D will be correct, because we identified that the statement 1 is incorrect. Without even reading, you can come to the answer option D is correct answer. The statement 2 is correct. You can come back to the statement 2 in India. Central government has the power to notify minor minerals under relevant. Recently also they have notified certain minerals are part of now major mineral was part of critical major minerals. This is the reason that the statement 2 is correct and statement 1 went wrong. Now we'll come back to the next few questions. Next is question number 91. 91. This is questions from local self-government, specifically panchayats. When we go through the panchayat chapter, we study about each of these topic and each of these provisions. Statement 1, panchayats at intermediary level exist in all states. When we studied about the levels of the panchayat, village level, intermediate level, district level, we know that intermediate level panchayat is not mandatory for all the states. It will not be applicable to a state which has less than 20 lakh populations. Based on that, it is not applicable to few states. That's the reason that statement 1 went wrong. But here we need to read it carefully because the question is expected to find the incorrect statements. Not correct was asked. Not correct was asked. So we know that the statement 1 is incorrect statement. It should be an answer. To be eligible to a member of the panchayat at intermediate level, any panchayats, even including municipality, that is a person should be at a minimum 21 years. That's a basic knowledge that we should have. Minimum age to become a member of panchayat. Here the statement mentioned that a person should be attained age of 30 years. It's incorrect. Minimum age to become a member of panchayat, even in intermediate level panchayat is 21, not 30 years. So this statement is incorrect. Then it should be an answer. Then chief minister of the state constitutes the commission to review the financial position, that means state level finance commission of the panchayat at intermediate level and make recommendation regarding the distribution unit proceeds, taxes and duties leviable by the state between the state and the panchayat at intermediate level. So we know that the state finance commission was constituted as per the provision mentioned under the panchayat provision. It was enacted through the added through the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Acts. So finance commissions are constituted by the governor, not by the chief minister after every year. So this slightly went wrong because of they have mentioned chief minister instead of governor. So this statement is also incorrect. All the statements were incorrect. The answer to this question is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Now we'll come to the few more questions here. 93, question number 93. Even though this is not directly from Indian polity, but was based on current affair, it was because of anniversary, because Gandhi Peace Prize was instituted in 1995 and this was 30th anniversary of this. They have asked a question with respect to who among the following are part of this or members of this jury to select this recipient of the Gandhi Peace Prize. We know that the president of India is mostly having the higher position, and this award will be conferred by official will be given by President of India. So president should not be part of the jury to select the recipients. So we can immediately eliminate office of president. So we can eliminate option which include statement 1 and finally we left with the A and C. In case of A, we know that Prime Minister, the second statement is coming in both. Fourth statement is also coming in both. So we can confirm that Prime Minister is a member, leader of opposition is a member. So a little difficult questions, those who have less knowledge about this. So Chief Justice of India is also a member of this jury. So answer to this question is 2, 3, 4. Option C is the answer. Little difficult question, you should have a knowledge, some fact about who are the members of this jury. Only the confusion will come with respect to whether the Chief Justice of India is part or not. But anyway, Chief Justice of India is part of this jury. Answer to this question is option C. Now, few more questions are there. I think one question is there. Question number 98. 98 questions. This question must be expected. One is, anyway, it was an important independent body that we should study in our Indian polity. It was recently in current affair, that is every year that we are going to observe January 16th as Lokpal Day. And this observe, like now this year that we have started observing every January 16th as Lokpal Day. It was current affair recently. And I think in our current affair program and classes that we have discussed about the Lokpal. Even in our Indian polity classes also we have covered about the Lokpal. It was a big current affair topic that at least a candidate should go through this topic. We'll go through these statements. Consider the following with respect to Lokpal. The power of the Lokpal applies to public servant of India, but not to Indian public servant post outside India. Public servant also include those who are posted outside. So the Lokpal, the power of the Lokpal also apply to a public servant may be posted in outside. So this statement is incorrect because of negative. The chairperson or members shall not be member of the parliament or member of the legislature in any state or union territory, and only the Chief Justice of India, whether incompetent or retired, has to be the chairperson. No, this statement is incorrect. Maybe either retired Chief Justice or maybe a retired Judge of Supreme Court can also head the Lokpal. Even an eminent person, if duly qualified, can also become the chairperson of Lokpal. So this statement 2 is also incorrect. So we can eliminate also the options. We can go through the statements. Statement 1 was incorrect. Option C can be eliminated. We know now second statement is also incorrect. Then option B is eliminated. Now coming into the statement 3. The chairperson or a member shall not be a person of less than 45 years of age on the date of assuming office as a chairperson, members as the case may be. This is specific provision mentioned as section 3 of the Lokpal Logayukt Act 2013. So this statement is correct. So before we appoint a chairperson member, there shall not be a person less than 45 years. This statement is correct. Since the third statement is correct, the answer to this question answer would be option A 3 only. Lokpal, that anyway we can read about the read the fourth statement. Lokpal cannot incur into the allegation against sitting prime minister. This is incorrect. We can also initiate even a corruption has been committed by prime minister. So Lokpal can initiate and incur allegations against a corruption case against sitting prime minister. But certain restrictions are there. Even though certain restrictions are there, it can initiate a case against prime minister as well. So fourth statement is incorrect because of it cannot is mentioned. So this is incorrect. Only 3 is correct. Option A is correct. So any more questions? 99. No. With that, Indian polity questions are over. I think you understood. You can also revise these areas even in future. Next year also you can expect questions from these areas and the more important area that usually UPSC asks questions. With that, I'm ending the discussion of Indian polity and I will invite our Suhas sir to take over the session and to continue the discussion. Thank you very much.
So rest of the questions which came from economy and science and technology. As I told in the introductory section, I felt these questions are actually easy to moderate. And some of the questions were actually purely fact oriented or it's factual kind of questions, which is definitely difficult. Some questions were definitely difficult. Some of them we can use our logic and eliminate, but some questions are actually tougher questions because of that pure factual content. So as I told you, the starting itself, those questions are meant for checking our confidence or else to reduce our confidence and make us panic and make us bubbling the wrong answers in the easy questions also. So personally, I feel like those questions are meant to skip. You can skip it. You don't need to answer 100 questions to clear this examination. Some questions are actually meant to skip. So if you don't know that anything about it and it's purely factual kind of questions, you can skip it. But other these science and questions and economic questions were pretty easy kind of thing. And the good part is most of the questions were which exactly we have discussed in the classroom, the topic which we have discussed in the classroom, and the model questions which we provided during the prelims sprint session. Those questions also came in the examination. So Personally, I have a very good feeling about that. And so let's discuss those questions which are from economy and science and technology. And as you know, we are discussing set A. We are going to discuss from the first question. Question number 1, set A. Yeah. So the first question is, with reference to investment, consider the following bonds, hedge fund, stocks, and venture capital. How many of the above are treated as an alternative investment fund? So the keyword here is alternative investment fund. How many of the above is treated as an alternative investment fund? See, we have a conventional or like traditional investment like bonds and stock. Why it is called an alternative investment fund? These funds are apart from these traditional investment options like bonds and stock. Alternative investment fund options are categorized by SEBI, and this investment option needed a little more expertise because these things are actually a little more complex. Not the question. I am telling about the alternative investment fund options are a little more complex and risk oriented is also. So, according to SEBI, other than bonds and stock, the hedge fund and venture capitals are alternative investment fund. So here, option B, only 2 is the right answer. Moving to the next question, question number 2, which of the following are the source of income for Reserve Bank of India? Purely logical kind of a question and very, very easy to answer. Just think like a common man and answer this question. Which of the following is the source of income for Reserve Bank of India? What gives income for Reserve Bank, or what operation give income for Reserve Bank? As you know, the Reserve Bank is not like a common bank. Like what common bank does, they will give loans and they will get interest from private players, private individuals, and that interest is actually the asset for private banks or normal banks. Okay. So this asset or like this revenue generation mechanism is not there for Reserve Bank because the Reserve Bank is bankers' bank, government's bank. Okay. So look at the options. Buying and selling of government bond. Will that gives a Reserve Bank? Will that give Reserve Bank a revenue? Buying and selling of government bank. Obviously, right, right. Government bond, like what it have, it has a government. What has a government bond? Government has bond has a face value and an interest will be there, right? So buying and selling or it's like this open market operations will give a revenue to Reserve Bank. Okay, while uh, buying government bond and selling it at higher price, Reserve Bank will get revenue. So this will give revenue to Reserve Bank. Buying and selling foreign currencies, yes, Reserve Bank will hold forex reserve, and during foreign exchange operations, Reserve Bank buy foreign currency for a lower rate and sell at higher rate. Okay, during currency devaluation, this excuse me, this time Reserve Bank will make profit by buying and selling foreign currencies. Logically, this is also fine. And the third one, pension fund management. If you think like, do Reserve Bank has any of those kind of responsibility to manage the pension fund like EPFO, like that? No, right? Reserve Bank doesn't have any mandate like that. And pension fund, it's not come. It will not come under the Reserve Bank's mandate. And lending to private companies, have you ever heard something that Reserve Bank have lended this much money to a private company? No, private company or private individuals cannot uh, borrow from Reserve Bank. Okay, Reserve Bank won't give loans to private companies. So this also not. And the fifth one actually, excuse me. Excuse me for that. The fifth one, printing and distributing currency notes. Actually, for printing and distributing currency notes, Reserve Bank has a certain kind of expenditure. Printing the currency and distributing the currency, in Reserve Bank listed it as an expenditure. Like there is a in the column of expenditure, like income and expenditure, Reserve Bank listed this operation, printing and distribution of currencies, in expenditure. Okay, so printing and distribution of currency, that also will not give a revenue to Reserve Bank. Okay, so here only 1 and 2, option A is the right answer. Next one, with reference to Government of India, it's a matching kind of a question. With reference to Government of India, consider the following information. We have 3 columns here. One is organization, then second is some of the functions, and it works under which ministry. Okay, so first one, Director of Enforcement. Here you can use one logic. Actually, this logic is given by Faisal sir. I have to thank him for that. Here we can use one logic. If anything which is very common and popular, okay, we know that, like ED, Director of Enforcement, Enforcement Directorate. It not comes under Home Ministry, right? It comes under Finance Ministry, Ministry of Finance, Enforcement Directorate. Okay, so this is not like normally means correctly matched. This is not correctly matched. Okay, but rest of the things, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, we are not much much familiar about Director of Revenue Intelligence, and Director General of System and Data Management, we are not familiar for that also. So if anything is not that familiar, usually UPSC will give a pattern like, UPSC will follow a pattern like, if something is not very familiar, they have matched it correctly. Yes, these two things are actually correctly matched. Okay. Excuse me. So ED, Director of Enforcement, is Enforcement of Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, and Prevention of Money Laundering Act is also there, PML Act, and Internal Security Division of Ministry of Home Affairs. This is the wrong thing, and it comes under Ministry of Finance. Okay, Ministry of Finance. Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, it comes like it does enforcement of provision of the Customs Act, and it comes under the Department of Revenue of Ministry. And Director of System and Data Management. Actually, this agency gives the data to CBIC officers, Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs officers. So carrying out big data analysis of assist tax officers for better policy and nabbing tax evaders. Okay, so this is right, and it comes under the Department of Revenue of Ministry of Finance. So two things are properly matched. Only two. Option B is the right answer for third question. Next, question number 4. Consider the following statement. Again, Reserve Bank and Reserve Bank is involved. So these portions, like Reserve Bank portions, you have to study about Reserve Bank. Like UPSC is continuously asking this about Reserve Bank, and you can expect at least one question about Reserve Bank or something related to Reserve Bank. Okay, this is about business responsibility and sustainability report. Okay, BRSR. So statement is, the Reserve Bank of India mandates all the listed companies in India to submit a business responsibility and sustainability report. Do you think Reserve Bank will ask the companies to submit a business responsibility and sustainability report? What is this business responsibility and sustainability report? This report actually talking about, report actually taking the data of companies' environmental, social, and governance related information. Okay, ESG information, and this report is managed by SEBI. Okay, so this is not Reserve Bank. Like with a norm, what can I say? Like with a pure logic, we can assume that. We can understand. Like we can guess it is not comes under Reserve Bank. So this statement is wrong. Second one, in India, the company submitting a BRSR makes disclosure in the report that are largely non-financial in nature. Yes, this is true. This statement is true. Okay, so only two, option B. Fourth one, option B is the right answer. Next question, fifth one, consider the following statement. Two statements are there. In India, income from allied agriculture activities like poultry farming and wool rearing in rural areas is exempted from any tax. Okay, this statement is wrong. It's because in India, direct agriculture activities are exempted, but agriculture allied structure is not exempted from any like taxes like these from any taxes. Okay, so agriculture allied expenditure like poultry and wooling, these things are not exempted from any taxes. Statement 1 is wrong. Okay, statement 2, in India, rural agriculture land is not considered as a capital asset under the provision of the Income Tax Act 1961. This statement is right. Rural agriculture land is not considered as a capital asset. So buying or selling this rural agricultural land will not comes under the capital tax purview. Okay, so this statement is right. So here statement 1 is right and statement 2 is wrong, and the option D is the right option. Statement 1 is not correct, but statement 2 is correct. Okay. Excuse me. Next question. Consider the following statement. India has joined the Mineral Security Partnership as a member. Yes, India has joined. India is a resource-rich country in all the 30 critical minerals that it has identified. All the 30 critical minerals, India is resource-rich. It's an extreme statement, right? India has many critical critical resources. I mean critical minerals are available in India, but for some minerals like cobalt, nickel, lithium, for these minerals, India is actually 100% import dependent. We are not rich and resource rich for all these 30 critical minerals. Okay, it's an extreme statement, so you can guess like that. This is a wrong statement. The Parliament in 2023 has amended the Mines and Minerals Act 1957, empowering the central government to exclusively auction mineral lease and composite license for certain critical minerals. So logically, that is also right answer because now it's under the central government for critical minerals. Critical minerals are actually vital for new age technologies. Okay. So 1 and 3, option C is the right answer. Next question, seventh one. Excuse me. Consider the following statement. Statement 1, as regards return from the investment. Okay, this is a very simple question, and with pure logic, you can answer this question. Okay. As regards return from an investment in a company, generally, bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholders. For a company, bondholder is placed at a lower risk than stockholders. So what is the difference between bondholders and stockholders? Bondholders are kind of lenders to a company. They buy bond from the company and they give their money. Okay, so bondholders will get their money back no matter what happened to the company, or it's like whatever the profit it makes, it doesn't matter. Whatever the amount they purchase the bond, they will get it back. But that is not the case of a stockholder. For a stockholder, they are kind of a partners, or it's like shareholders of a company. If the company goes for a losses, they will get a lower price on it. If the company progress and go for profit, they will get more money. Okay, so if you compare the bondholder and stockholder, bondholder will get a certain money, that's for sure, for whichever like amount they purchase in that bond, but it's not in the case of a stockholder. So here you can clearly see that bondholders have lesser risk than stockholder. Okay, the first statement is that as regard to return from an investment in a company, Generally, bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholder. That statement is right. Statement 1 is right. And statement 2, bondholders are lenders to a company where stockholders are its owners. Yes, exactly. That's what I said it just now. Bondholders are kind of a lenders, but stockholders are kind of owners. Okay, so you can say that statement 1 is right and statement 2 is right. And statement 2 is a correct explanation for statement 1, right? Since the stockholders are owners and bondholders are lenders, definitely bondholders have lesser risk. Stockholders are more risk for a company. If the company is not getting progress, the risk will go to the stockholders. Their stock or their share will be devaluated, right? So statement 2 is a correct explanation for statement 1. And for statement 3, for repayment purpose, bondholders are prioritized over stockholders by a company. Actually, this is another kind of a first statement rephrased, I think. So first one, yes, it's talk about the risk matter. Here the third one, third statement, look at that. For repayment, bondholders are prioritized than stockholders. So bondholders will have a more priority than stockholder in the time of a repayment of their investment. That's why they are more like safer, or it's like risk is lower for a bondholder. Okay, so the third statement is also correct, and that third statement actually explained the first statement. Why they are like why the risk for a bondholder is lower than a stockholder. So the right answer is option A. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. Okay, option A is the right answer. Next question, eighth one. Consider the following statement. India accounts for a very large portion of all the equity option contracts trading globally, thus exhibiting a great boom. Yes, actually, India accounts for a very large portion of all the equity options contracts. So that's why globally, India is exhibiting a great boom in this share market, the stock market, and all. And India's stock market has grown rapidly in the recent past, even overtaking Hong Kong at some point of time in 2024, I think. Yes, it overtook Hong Kong. India Stock Exchange have overtook Hong Kong at some part of time. So this statement is also right. Okay, see, I'll tell you another option. I mean, another way to solve this problem. There is no regular body either to warn the small investor about the risk of options trading, or act on unregistered financial advisors in this regard. You just read the statement. There is no regular body, no regulatory framework are there for warning the small uh, investors or regulating the unregistered financial advisors. Do you think so? And what about SEBI? SEBI is there for regulating all this unregulated, unregistered financial advisors, or else like warning about the small investment options, warning about the risk. SEBI is there. Okay, so this statement is wrong. SEBI is there. Okay, so if you know that, or else like if you feel the third statement is wrong, we can easily eliminate and find the right statement. Wherever 3 is there, you can delete it. Wherever 3, just delete it. Option A is the right answer for 8th question. Okay, this is why I said like it is very easy. Okay, next, 9th question, consider the following statement. Okay, this is another very simple question. It talks about circular economy. Circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouses. Okay, first of all, you just know the basics, or else like just a basic thing. What is circular economy? What is circular economy? Circular economy actually uses or reuses whatever it produced in an economy, it reuses again and make it a new product. Okay, so that like wastage can be reduced, environment friendly will be there, economic benefit will be there. That is circular economy here. Okay, so first statement, circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases. Just a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases. Yes, right. Circular economy again reuses these products. So there is no need to produce a item again and again, so it will definitely reduces the greenhouse gases. And statement 2, circular economy reduces the use of raw materials as inputs. Yes, if you are reusing it, the need of raw material is actually reduced. Okay, so both of these statements are right. And the third statement, circular economy reduces wastage in the process of, sorry, in the production process. Yes, circular economy reduces the wastage in the production process. Yes, that's also right. So which of the following correct in respect of the above statement? Statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. So ninth one, option A is the right answer. See, if you don't know about circular economy also, if you don't know also, after reading this statement, you get some idea, okay, what circular economy might be. Okay, you can guess something. Okay, circular economy. Okay, something it is circulating, cyclical, reusing. Okay, we can just, if you don't know it also, you can answer this question. Okay, none of them right is not an option here. See, neither statement 2 or statement 3 is correct. That is an option. Okay, but none of the statement 1, 2, and 3 is not correct. I mean, is not correct. It's, there is no option like that. So either of this statement is right. Okay, so we can club like that, analytical. Okay, next thing, 10th question, consider the following statement. Capital receipt create a liability of course, sorry, liability or cause a reduction in the asset of government. Capital receipt. Okay, if it is actually a loan, capital receipt, it will reduce, or else like it will create a liability. We have to repay, we have to like give it back, causes the reduction in the asset of the government. Yes, this statement is right. Okay, and this thing actually we have discussed class. Borrowing and disinvestment are capital receipt. Yes, borrowing and disinvestment are capital receipt. And third statement, here again we can use this same logic which I have mentioned just before. Interest received on loan create a liability of the government. Interest received on loan. Government gave loan to something, like government gave a loan. Okay, bond or gilded security. Okay, kind of thing. Government gave a loan, and interest received by government for that loan is a liability for the government. Is the right answer? No, right. Like you invested some money to some in some bank, and you are getting interest from that money. Okay, is that a liability to you? No, right. It is actually a revenue. It's an income for you. Okay, for whatever money you have invested, you are getting that money, interest, right? It is not a liability for you. You don't need to repay it again. What to repay? Where to repay? You don't need to repay it again. So interest received by a loan creates a liability to the government. It's actually a wrong statement. If you know that that is a wrong statement, or if you understand that is a wrong statement, by elimination method, you can eliminate all this B, C, D, and option A is the remaining. 1 and 2 is right answer. Option A. For 10th question, option A is the right answer. Okay. Next, question number 36. I'm reminding you, we are discussing set A, question number 36. Yeah. Oh, sorry, this is 38, 36. Yeah. Okay, the 36th question, with reference to direct air capture, an emerging technology, which of the following statement is or are correct? It's actually a current affairs question, but it comes under science and technology. Last year, Iceland introduced the largest air capture uh, means technology, or it's like air capture plant or something, air capture mechanism. Its name was Mammoth. Okay, so there you got this information. What is air capture? Direct air capture. It's nothing but capturing the polluted air directly from the atmosphere. You can use solvents like polluted air, not like carbon dioxide, not polluted air, carbon dioxide from environment. You can use like liquid sorbent for capturing the carbon dioxide. Solid also can be used for absorbing the carbon dioxide. Okay. So here actually direct air capture, the statements, it can be used as a way for carbon sequestration. Yes, it can be used as a way for carbon sequestration. It can be valuable approach for plastic production and in food processing. Yes, it can be. In aviation, it can be a source of carbon for combining with hydrogen to create a synthetic synthetic low carbon fuel. Yes, the application can be like that. So if you just go through that current affairs thing, what is a direct capture, uh, sorry, air capture technology, like this question can be answered very easily. Okay, so option C is the right answer, all the three, 1, 2 and 3. Next question is 41. Question number 41. Okay, this is actually another purely logical and very easy question from science and technology. Consider the following types of vehicles. Okay, some vehicles are there: full battery vehicle, electric vehicle, hydrogen vehicle, fuel cell vehicle. The question is, how many of the above are considered as an alternative powertrain vehicle? How many of the above is considered as an alternative powertrain vehicle? Okay, what is alternative powertrain vehicle, or it's like alternative fuel using vehicle? Any engine, any vehicle which is not using IC engine, internal combustion engine, which runs by either petrol or diesel. Any vehicle which is not using only IC engine for power generation, it can be termed as alternative powertrain vehicles. Okay, so it's simple, like whichever vehicles we are usually see that vehicles like with runs in petrol or diesel, they uses IC engine, internal combustion engines. Okay, so any vehicle which is not using only IC engines can be termed as alternative powertrain vehicles. So now you look at this option, full battery vehicles, like which is electric vehicles, which we see on road nowadays with a green number plate. That is a full electric vehicles. Yes, that is an alternative powertrain vehicle. Hydrogen fuel cell vehicles is an emerging technology, but not much common in our roads. But actually, like many companies are on hydrogen fuel vehicles. Yes, it is not using IC engine. Okay, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, fuel cell electric hybrid vehicle. Yes, for a hybrid vehicle, many type of hybrid vehicles are there. Some of the hybrid vehicles are uses IC engine also, and they uses battery also. Okay, so here like fuel cell electric hybrid vehicles, yes, they are uses both these energies for running. They are not using exclusively IC engines, so they are also they can also be termed as alternative powertrain vehicles. Yes, all the above are, all the three, 41 C is the right answer. All the three are alternative powertrain vehicles. Okay, next question 42. Okay, this is another so simple and very logical questions. If you know, no, you don't need to know about this. Okay, don't need to know. You can answer. Any common person can answer this question. With reference to unmanned aerial vehicles, what is unmanned aerial vehicle? Whichever flies or like crew is in ocean or something, which is okay. Aerial vehicle is flies only. Okay, unmanned aerial vehicles, whichever flies without man, like our drones, unmanned aerial vehicles. Consider the following statement. All types of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, can do vertical landing. Okay, all type of UAV can do vertical landing. Horizontal landing is there, vertical landing is there. All type of UAV can do vertical landing. Is that a correct statement? See, it's an extreme statement. It says that all type can land. So there itself, it is very clear that yes, it is not a correct statement, because may all type cannot do that. Okay, some type can do that, but may not. All vehicles cannot. Okay, so this is wrong. Next, all type of UAVs can do automated hovering. Hovering, like which stays in the air, automated hovering. All type of aerial vehicles can do that. Not. Again, all make it as an extreme statement. Here again, all types of UAV can use battery only, as a source of power supply. Again, extreme statement, all aerial vehicles are using only battery. That's again a extreme statement. That's again wrong. So how many of the statements given above are correct? I go for none. None of the statements given above are correct. 42, option D is the answer. Yes. Next question, 43. In the context of electric vehicle battery, consider the following elements. This is actually kind of a small, tougher question. And asking like how many of the above usually make up battery cathodes? Battery cathodes. For a battery, anode will be there and cathode will be there. So how many of the statement, how many of these elements can be used as battery cathodes? Graphite is actually an anode. But rest of all these threes, cobalt, nickel, and lithium, are cathodes. Cathode, anode, like that. Lithium, ion battery, cobalt, and nickel, and like that we usually say. So all the cobalt, lithium, and nickel, only 3 is the right answer. And next, 44th one. Consider the following. Again, simple question. How many of them contain plastic? I told in the class, like, if you got this kind of application or this kind of questions in science and technology, go for all the above. Okay, go for all the above. Not like these questions, like which all this can be used as a cathode. It's not like that. If it is an application kind of a question, just go for all the above. That'd be better. Okay. So the question is cigarette butts, eyeglass lenses, car tires. How many of them contain plastic? Logically, all the above contain plastic. Option C, all the 3. 44, option C, all the 3. Yes. Next, consider the following substances: ethanol, nitroglycerin, and urea. This is a kind of a tougher question for you because you may not be like knowing what all things will be created, and you don't know much about, like, if you don't know much about coal gasification. Coal gasification is a process like gasifying the coal. It like make it gas for energy purposes. So consider the following substances, and coal gasification technology can be used in the production of how many of these? Ethanol can be used for coal gasification. Okay, and during coal gasification, ammonia is created, and from that urea can be ammonia. Okay, from there urea, and nitroglycerin cannot be made by coal gasification. So only 2, option B is the right answer. Okay, another question. This is somewhat ambiguous question, and until and unless UPSC publishes the answer key, we are not sure about this question. But still, what is the common characteristic of chemical substances generally known as Cl20, HMX, and LLM105, which are sometimes talked about in the media? So if you particularly stick on that thing, what these things which are usually comes in media, these are explosive. Okay, these are explosives. So option B, they are explosive in military weapons. That is the right answer. But these explosive kind of minerals, I mean explosive kind of elements, can be substances, can be chemical substances, can be used as a solid fuel in rocket propulsion. For rocket propulsion, what is actually we need this kind of technology is actually ongoing, like researches are ongoing, and sooner it will be a reality. Like using these kind of explosive chemical substances, rocket propulsion is possible, it may be possible in future. And so the option D also can be correct. Okay, but as of now, if it is strictly asking like okay, in media what all these things are, actually these are explosive, and these are used by, these are explosive in military weapons. Option B is the right answer. Okay, so these two kind of, I mean, if it is like one and B and C, B and D, like that, I would go for B and D only, because these can also be correct. Okay, but as of now we will go with the option B. Okay. Next question, consider the following statement: it is expected that Majorana one chip will be enabled quantum computing. Yes, actually, after Google's Willow, quantum computing is going to be a reality actually. Like by one of another chip is Majorana one chip. It's by Microsoft. Okay. So what is the difference between a common usual computing and quantum computing? Quantum computing uses qubit. Okay. Earlier using qubit was actually not that accurate, but now more and more qubit is being used and accuracy is being improved. So the advantage of using a quantum computer is we can do multiple millions of operations which is done by a supercomputer for many years in just 5 or 6 minutes with one quantum computer. So one quantum computer can be equated to many n number of supercomputers. Okay, so here they uses quantum technology and qubit is being used. So Majorana one chip will enable quantum computing. Yes, that is a true and right statement. And Majorana one chip has been introduced by not by Amazon Web Services. It is introduced by Microsoft. Okay. And next statement, deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So when we discuss about artificial intelligence, yes, everything comes under like this all technology, IoT, machine learning, and deep seeking. I mean learning. Everything comes under artificial intelligence. Okay, under artificial intelligence, one technology is one subset is machine learning. Okay, machine learn it by themselves and machine decide it by itself. Okay, machine learn it by itself and machine decide it by itself. So accuracy cannot be like not always can be correct. I mean won't be achieved for a machine learning. But deep learning is a subset of machine learning which learn it very deeply and decide. Okay, so it is something like more and more sophisticated kind of a machine learning, deep learning. Okay, so that is deep faking, deep fake. I hope you remember. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning. That is also true. Okay, so here 1 and 3, option C is the right answer here. Excuse me. Next, with reference to monoclonal antibodies. What is monoclonal antibodies? They are lab produced antibodies, like similar kind of antibodies, monoclonal antibody, which similar to like it's not a natural antibody. They are similar antibodies produced by cloning, lab cloning, and can be used for like these antibody can be used to eliminate. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, so they function like our natural antibodies and can be used against diseases. So the statements are they are man-made proteins. Yes, they are man-made. Lab in lab we are doing this. They simulate immunological functions due to their ability to bind to specific antigen. Yes, immunity functions they are doing. They are used in treating viral infections like Nipah virus. Yes, that is also true, but not only Nipah virus, they are used for many other viral diseases like Ebola. Can use that, or not only for Nipah, but the statement is they are used in treatments infections like Nipah virus. That's okay. If it says like they are used only for Nipah, that would be a wrong statement. But here all the options are right, and option D, 48, option D is the right answer. Next, consider the following statement. No virus can survive in. Okay, this is actually the question which I really got smiled because this is exactly the question which I created for prelims sprint. Okay, exactly all, not exactly, like the same kind of questions, same kind of question. Okay, I don't know why they got it. Purely logical, very easy question that anyone can answer. No virus can survive in ocean water. No virus can survive in ocean water. Like ocean water is completely virus free. It's an extreme statement. Okay, marine viruses are there, marine bacteria are there. Okay, yes, virus can survive in ocean water. So this statement is wrong. No virus can survive in ocean water. No virus can infect bacteria. How it is possible? Like there are bacteriophages, viruses that eat bacteria. Okay, viruses that attack bacteria. Okay, that viruses will enter in bacteria and control that cell. Yes, bacteriophagous bacteria viruses are there, bacteriophagous viruses are there. So no virus can infect bacteria. That is a wrong statement. No virus can change the cellular transcription activity in the host cell. That what's the what is the purpose or what is the function of a virus? Exactly, that is a function of a virus. They intrude in host cell and they change the like they transcript, they change the nature, they change the host cell. Yes, the transcript, cellular transcription will be changed, right? So no virus can change that cellular transcription. That's also a wrong statement. So all the three are wrong statements. Option, how many of the statement given above are correct? None of the above statement are correct. 49, option D. Okay, yeah. 50 question, consider the following statement. Statement 1, here activated carbon is a good and an attractive tool, remove pollutant from effluent streams and remediate contaminants from various industries. Yes, activated carbon is very good attractive because of some property that is actually discussed in the statement 2 and 3. Yes, they can remove pollutants. Statement 2, activated carbon exhibit a large surface area and a stronger potential for, okay, here, absorbing heavy metals. Yes, activated carbon have a larger surface area and this one word, absorption, not absorption. Okay, what is absorption? Absorption, something like absorbing. Okay, what is absorption? Which take, or it's like, for example, if you dip one sponge in water, it absorb water. That means the water will go deep inside the sponge also. Okay, it absorb. Okay, but for some other like materials, it will not deeply absorb these kind of like water or liquid, anything. It will not deeply absorb. Only its surface will be absorbed. Okay, so the surface level absorption is adsorption. Adsorption. Okay, so if you know that, it's simple. Activated carbon exhibit a large surface area and strong potential for adsorption of heavy metals. Yes, that is true, and that is the reason. Yes. And the third statement, activated carbon can easily synthesized from environmental waste with a high carbon content. Yes, actually it is true. Like, why it is so good and attractive? Because it can be synthesized from environmental waste. We don't need like any other thing. From waste only we can make activated carbon. Environmental waste only we can make activated carbon. Both the statement 2 and 3 are correct, and it is a right explanation for statement 1. Option A is the right answer for question number 50. Okay, fine. Now we are going to discuss question number 61. Some more questions only there. We will discuss that and conclude. Question number 61. Okay, this is another reason I got happy while giving the examination. Like, this question was actually last year we put the same question, calculation kind of thing. Calculation question usually comes in CSAT only, but as an experiment, as a what can I say, as a surprising element, we put this calculation kind of question in GS1 also. Okay, after doing certain calculation, we have to, like, it was something I do remember, at like national income calculation, something like that. Okay, excuse me. So this is, if you know the basic concept, it is very easy. And another thing is, this year for the prelims sprint, we have discussed this primary deficit and fiscal deficit, all these kind of things. So it would be easy for students, I guess so. Look at the question. Suppose the revenue expenditure is 80,000 crore and the revenue receipt of the government are 60,000 crore. So here revenue expenditure 80,000 is there, but revenue receipt, how much it is? 60,000 crore. The government budget also shows a borrowing of 10,000 crore. So government borrows 10,000 crore rupees and interest payment of 6,000 crore, which if the following statement are correct. Okay, The first statement is revenue deficit is 20,000 crore. Yes, because revenue expenditure is 80,000. Expenditure minus revenue like receipt, that is 60,000. Okay, sorry, 10 has missed. 60,000. Okay, so definitely 60 minus, so 80 minus 60,000, that is 20,000 will be the revenue deficit. 20,000 crore is the revenue deficit. Yes, this statement is right. Next one, fiscal deficit is 10,000 crore. That is also true. What is fiscal deficit? Whatever the money we borrow, that is exactly fiscal deficit. Okay, so fiscal deficit is clearly given here. Fiscal deficit is 10,000 crore. Primary deficit is 4,000 crore. So what is primary deficit? Fiscal deficit minus interest liability, interest payment. Fiscal deficit is 10,000. Okay, fiscal deficit is 10,000 and minus the interest. Interest is 6,000, right? That is 4,000 crore. 4,000 crore rupees is your primary deficit. All the three statements are right, and option D is the right answer for question number 61. Yes. Okay. This also actually, like, you can guess, logically answer. It is one of the founding member of International North-South Transport Corridor. Okay, International North-South Transport Corridor. Okay, so just note this direction, north-south. And a multimodal transportation corridor which will connect. The options are India to Central Asia to Europe via Iran. Okay, so we don't know, like, just imagine, we don't know this. Okay, fine. India to Central Asia to Europe. Okay, from India, the southern side, India, travel from India, we are traveling to Central Asia north, and there we will travel to from India, Central Asia, then Europe. Okay, so from this south direction, we are traveling through Central Asia to Europe. Okay, via what? Via Iran. Okay, this is one option. International North-South Corridor. Okay, just keep in mind that's one option here. Next, India to Central Asia via China. Why to do so? Why to travel India to Central Asia via China? Is that like, where is India? India is here, China is here, Central Asia is here. Traveling to China to Central Asia. Why it needed? Okay, and okay, logically. Next, India to Southeast Asia through Bangladesh and Myanmar. See, India is here, Bangladesh is here, Myanmar is here, Southeast Asia is here. Yes, we have an Act East policy. From India to Southeast Asia, traveling, is that an international north-south corridor? Can be. It's actually like east to, like, sorry, west to east can be termed like that. India is in west side. Southeast Asia is here, eastern side. It cannot be north-south corridor, right? And fourth one, India to Europe through Azerbaijan. Okay, that is possible because India to Europe through Azerbaijan, it is a north-south corridor. But look at here, do we have more connection or like friendly relation with Azerbaijan or Iran? Iran, right? Fine. So option in that logic, not only in that logic, factually also, option A is the right answer. Okay. And question number 63, consider the following statement. Statement 1, of the two major ethanol producers in the world, it's actually again a factual statement, I mean factual question. If you know the current affairs, if you've gone through the current affairs, you can answer. Otherwise, let's leave it. Of the two major ethanol producers in the world, that is Brazil and United States of America, the former producers, who? The Brazil. Brazil produces more ethanol than the later. No, it's a wrong statement because United States of America is the largest producer of ethanol. Okay, for ethanol production, US is the largest one in the world. So United States of America is the first in ethanol production, not Brazil. So this statement is wrong. Second statement, unlike in the United States of America, where the corn is the principal feedback for ethanol production, sugarcane is the principal feedback for ethanol production in Brazil. Yes, that is true. Sugarcane is the principle of production for ethanol for Brazil. Statement 2 is a right answer, and option D, 63, option D. Statement 1 is not correct, but statement 2 is correct. 64. Okay, this you need to not completely not, but if you know this, it would be better. Otherwise, you can use logic also. The World Bank warned that India could become one of the first place where wet bulb temperature routinely exceeds 35 degrees Celsius. What is this wet bulb temperature? Wet bulb temperature is a combination of high temperature and a humidity which exceeds a human being's or a living creature's mechanism, like sweating and continuous like hydrating will not work anymore, or it's like it will not reduce the heat or temperature. Okay, so it exceeds that. The temperature also, that the humidity also, it's a combination. It exceeds the ability of a human being through sweating, reduces or regulated the body temperature. Okay, so option, statement, okay, it's asked like, which of the following statement best reflects the implication of above said report? Okay, so wet bulb temperature, the fact is like this. So this report, World Bank warned India, okay, peninsular India will most likely to suffer from flooding, tropical cyclones, and drought. Can be, but is there any connection between that wet bulb temperature and this thing? It is a phenomenon, like natural phenomenon, also like a weather phenomenon, right? Flooding, all this like droughting, tropical cyclone, all these things are actually there is no connection with the wet bulb temperature. Okay, so this statement have no connection. That report is not reflecting this statement. The second statement, the survival of animal, including human, will be affected as shedding of their body heat through perspiration become difficult. Yes, that is exactly what wet bulb temperature make in human being. Shedding of the body temperature will not work anymore with sweating. Okay, sweating will not reduce your body temperature. Yes, this statement is right. 2 only. Option B is the right answer for 64th question. Okay, yeah. Next, oh, sorry. Next, 65. Okay, another kind of a calculation for economy. A country's fiscal deficit stands at 50,000 crore. It is receiving 10,000 crore through non-debt creating capital receipt. The country's interest liability is 1,500 crore. What is the primary deficit? Okay. See, actually, the data given here, this 10,000 crore through non-debt creating capital, is just for making you confused. What the question asked, what is the gross primary deficit? Simple, whatever that fiscal deficit minus interest. Primary deficit, what is primary deficit? Fiscal deficit minus interest liability. That is 50,000 minus 50,000 minus 1,500, which gives you 48,500 crore rupees. That is option A is the right answer. 64. Sorry, 65. Option A. Yes. Next, 66th question. 66 also. Yes, 66th question. Okay, which of the following regarding the recommendations of 15th Financial Commission of India are correct? Actually, it's completely factual kind of thing with logic. We can't do anything. It has recommended a grant of 4,800 crores from the year 2020 to 23 for the year 2025-26 for the incentivization of states to enhance the educational outcome. Yes, this is the right statement. 45% of the net proceedings of Indian taxes are to be shared with the state. It is a wrong statement because it is not 45%, that is 41%. If you have gone through the current affairs or financial commission report, You can easily get it. It's 41%. And 45,000 crores are to be kept as a performance-based incentive for all the state for carrying out agricultural reforms. Yes, that is true. And the fourth statement, it reintroduced a tax effort criteria for rewarding fiscal performances. Yes, that is also true. Tax effort criteria. Actually, tax effort criteria is a government, how much it put effort for collecting taxes. Okay, if a government is collecting, I mean, state government is collecting more and more taxes, that means it collecting taxes, it's not introducing taxes. Whatever the taxes has been introduced, it is being collected by the state. If it is being collected efficiently, how efficiently a state is collecting taxes, that is tax effort criteria. It is being reintroduced by the 15th Financial Commission. Okay, so this is also state. So other than option 2, 1, 3 and 4, option C is the right answer. 66C. Yeah. 67 question. Consider the following statement in the respect of International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IERBD. Actually, 1944 it started, I think. Bretton Woods Summit. Okay, it provides loans and guarantee to middle income countries. Yes, this is true. The bank's motto, or it's like bank's purpose, was to give loans to middle income countries. It works single-handedly to help. Actually, this bank is a an arm of World Bank. Okay, World Bank. It develops single-handedly to help developing countries to reduce poverty. Excuse me. Again, it's a logical thing. It says like it is the only bank which help the middle income country to reduce poverty. That definitely won't right. It's an extreme statement. Wrong. It was established to help the Europe to rebuild after the World War II. Second World War ke baad, I mean, after the Second World War, it started. I mean, it established for rebuilding Europe. Okay, yes, that is also true. 1 and 3, option C is the right answer of 67C. Yes. Next, consider the following statement in respect of RTGS and NEFT. Whoever made this RTGS or NEFT transaction in real life, it can easily find the answer of this. Or it's like, leave it. You don't need to make a transaction for that. Whoever knows at least the full form of this. Okay. Or it's like, what if you know that RTGS, NEFT and IMPS, you can easily do this. RTGS is actually real time. RTGS is a real time transaction, gross settlement. So in RTGS, the transaction will be quick. Okay, it's a real time basis. But for NEFT, it's not quick actually. Suppose that system works like I want to send you 1,000 rupees. Okay, if I am doing RTGS, immediately it will reflect in your account and that settlement will be completed immediately. But if it is NEFT, I'll be sending 1,000 rupees to you, and your bank, I mean, not you, or your bank is sending some other amount like a 500 rupees to someone in my bank, or it's like my end. Okay, not for me, those who have an account in my own, like my whichever bank, I also have an account. Okay, so in that case, bank will not transact 1,000 rupees first, then 500 rupees back. It will not do like that. What it will do, it will transfer only 500 rupees from my side to your bank. Why? Because my 500 rupees will go to this person. Okay, so it is a like time taking process. In RTGS, the settlement time is instantaneous. Well, in the case of NET, it takes some time to settle the payment. Yes, that is true. First statement is true. Second, in RTGS, the customer charges for inward transaction, while that not in the case of NEFT. No, in RTGS, there is no inward transaction. Like I am getting some money, for that I am also being charged. It's not like that. Okay, I'll not get inward charges. Okay, if I am sending money, I have to pay charges. For RTGS, I have to pay fees for RTGS transaction. You are receiving money, you don't need to pay anything. So RTGS, the customer charges inward transactions, that is wrong. Operating hours for RTGS are restricted on certain days, while the NEFT is, well, it is not true for NEFT. Actually, this is reverse. RTGS actually, like, it is operate every time, like throughout. Okay, but NEFT is not like that. NEFT has some restriction. So the statement is wrong. Third is wrong. Only first statement, option A is the Right answer for 68A. Yes. Okay, next consider the following countries. And okay, 4 countries are UAE is there, France is there, Germany, Singapore, not Bangladesh, Bangladesh, not Bangladesh, Bangladesh. How many of the countries among the above are other than India use where international merchant payments accept under UPA, Unified Payment Interface? Which all the countries accept this? Okay, UAE accept. Okay, there are a lot of Keralites like Indians are there. UAE accept. France also accept. Okay, Paris, Eiffel Tower. France also accept. Germany, yes, German minister praised UPI. He said like, I'm so impressed with this payment interface system and all these things, but Germany is not yet started using UPI. Singapore, no. Bangladesh also, no. Okay, only two, option A, 69, option A. Next, consider the following statement about PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Yeah, it's actually the name says it all. PM Surya Ghar, something solar, domestic solar. Muft Bijli, like other than electricity, Bijli electricity. Other than electricity, we use solar. Okay, something. So solar plant, solar. It target installation of 1 crore solar rooftop planets in the residential sector. Yes, that is true. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy aims to import training on installation, operation, maintenance, and repair of solar rooftop system as a grassroots level. Yes, logically, that statement also can be correct. Okay, if you don't know anything also, if you don't know about that also, yes, that is correct. It aims to create more than 3 lakh skilled manpower through fresh skilled and upskilling under the scheme of capacity building. Yes, that also can be true. Okay, logically, the UPSC will ask like this only. Like if it is like, if it is not uh, specifically mentioned, like, yes, this won't be done. Other than that, almost everything will be true. This kind of things. Okay, so all the above, 1, 2, 3, option D. Option question 70, option D, yes. We have 3 or 4 more questions left. We will conclude. Next question of question number 81. Yeah, 81. Consider the following statement. Statement is some rare earth elements are used in the manufacturing of flat television screen and computer monitors. Okay. Second, some rare earth elements have phosphorescent property, like it shines. Okay, it gives like brighter colors, phosphorescent properties. Yes, actually both the statements are true. Option A is the right answer. Statement 1 and statement 2 are true. But if you use logic, like it says like at least any of the statement is true. Here both statement true. Here also both statement true, but second statement is not explaining the first statement. Here statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is not correct. Here statement 1 is not correct, statement 2 is correct. So the option itself says that either of the statement is true. Okay, just assume the first statement is true. So the second statement also it relate. Okay, if the second statement is true, first also will be true. Okay, just use the logic. So if both are true, just look at both. Second statement actually explain why some rare earth elements are being used for in flat television, like I think deuterium, europa kind of elements. Okay, it is used in flat television screen. Yes, option A is the right answer for 81. 82. Consider the following statement. Indian Railway. Okay, this is about Kavach. Okay, one Kavach. Okay. Indian Railway have prepared a national rail plan to create a future-ready railway system by 2028. Actually, it is 2030. 81 I discussed. 82. Okay, fine. Okay. This is not 2028, that is 2030. Okay. Next, I'll tell you, like Why? How can we find it? Kavach is an automatic train protection system developed in collaboration with Germany. Kavach. You know what is Kavach? Okay, Kavach is being discussed in the newspaper, in the media many times. Like whenever the training incident happens, we discuss about Kavach, and we studied about Kavach in current affairs. Yes, and every time whenever we uses this Kavach, we say every time that it is an indigenous technology uses for railway protection, train protection. Nowhere we mentioned that we have developed this coverage with the collaboration with by collaborating with Germany. It is an indigenous technology. That means there is no trace of collaboration, no collaboration, nothing. We uses coverage. We developed the coverage indigenously. It's our own technology. Okay. So this statement also wrong. Third one, coverage system consists of RFID tag fitted on the track in station section. Yes, for this interlocking for this token systems, it actually replaces by coverage. Like there will be RFID, radio frequency ID tags will be there, RFID tags will be there. It fitted on train and the track system. So whenever the train passes, that information will be there. Or if if there is anything like message will be sent to coverage, trains. Okay, so this is true. The question is which of the statement gives are not correct. Okay, 3 is a right statement. Okay, so by eliminating 3, 1 and 2 are incorrect. Okay, so you don't need to know about this year. It was 2030 or 2028. Don't get worried. Okay, by using this simple elimination technique, you can find the answer here. Okay, next question 83. Consider the following space mission. Okay, again here science and technology question, application question. Most of the time answer will be all the above. Okay, Axiom 4, SpaceX and Gaganyaan. We know about these two things. SpaceX, we know. Okay, it's a space docking mission. India have successfully docked. Okay, it's a space docking mission. I have discussed in the class, and it's actually a pride for India. Many like exams nowadays, many even that state PSC exams also asking about SpaceX. Okay, SpaceX is actually a docking mission, and Gaganyaan, our space mission. Like we will send astronauts like astronauts like Vyomonauts. Okay, Vyomonauts. In Gaganyaan, we will send like an international space station. We will not international space station. Like we will send, we will bring. Okay, not for a longer period. Okay, and this question is how many of the space mission gives above encourage and support microgravity research? How many of the mission encourage and support microgravity experiment? For microgravity experiment, we like zero gravity kind of conditions should be there, and international space stations are being used for this microgravity experiments, and Gaganyaan also can be used for microgravity experiment. And for Gaganyaan, SpaceX mission is actually we have conducted the SpaceX mission for a preparation for Gaganyaan mission. Okay, while we are doing this Gaganyaan mission, or like when we are establishing a space station in space, this space docking technology can be used for servicing that space station, transporting, transferring astronauts to that and take them back. Like it is actually docking. Okay, and you may not know about the Axiom 4. Axiom 4 is actually a private venture for sending astronaut to ISS, International Space Station. Okay, Axiom Space is a private company that works in this space, like sending people to space. Their working area is that Axiom 4. If you don't know Axiom 4 also, it is asking like encourages and support microgravity research. So logically, all the space mission, it can support and can encourage microgravity kind of experiment. So all the 3, option C is the right answer. 83, option C. Excuse me. 84, with reference to India space defense, consider the following pair. Actually, this is a tougher question, but we can use it that UPSC, what can I say, a pattern kind of thing, which advisors are just told. to me. Dornier 228, it's maritime patrol aircraft. Yes, this is actually true. IL-76 or Ilyushan 76. It says that supersonic combat aircraft. We know about our supersonic combat aircrafts like MiG-21, like Tejas, kind of supersonic aircraft. Did we ever heard about a supersonic aircraft, combat aircraft called IL-76? No, nothing like that. It is actually a military aircraft that carry heavier loads. IL-76. This is not true. And C-17 Glowmaster true is a military transport aircraft. That is also true. So only two, option B is correctly matched here. 84B. Yes, 84B. Yeah. Next, 85th question. Okay, this is actually very simple question. We saw this many times in news, and it's very non-factor to us. Artificial way of causing rainfall, like artificial raining. Okay, like reducing to air pollution, make the use of what we use for artificial raining. That is silver iodide and potassium iodide. Option A is the right answer. Silver iodide and AgI and potassium iodide, Ki. Okay, option A. 86th question. Okay, fine. 86th is not mine. It's a polity question. Left over is 94th question. 94th. Yeah, 94th question. Gagan, GPS aided geo augmented navigation. Gagan, GPS aided geo augmented navigation is used as a system of ground stations to provide necessary augmentation. Okay, as the name says, it is Gagan. So something related to flying and all these things we can assume. Okay, if you don't know, otherwise you know that it's an ISRO mission with the Airport Authority of India. Uses ground stations to provide necessary augmentation, which of the following statement is or are correct in respect of Gagan. It is designed to provide additional accuracy and integrity. Yes, for air traffic control, it provides additional accuracy and integrity. It will allow more uniform and high quality air traffic management. Yes, that is also true. Third one, it will provide benefit only to aviation, but not in any other mode of transportation. Again, an extreme statement. It says like only to aviation. Extreme statement. Okay, logically, that is not true. It provides data for other navigation also, but actually it is made for air traffic management or aviation, but it can use or else like it can give data for other navigation, other mode of transport also. So this is wrong. 1 and 2, option D is the right answer for 94th question. Okay, so with that, the science and tech and economy portion here completes, and all the questions have been discussed here. And as the ma'am said, whoever got around 75 or 80 plus, just go, you just start your mains preparation and join us for our mains program, that is Right to Rank 2025. We are providing exclusively mains oriented test series and classroom enhancement programs, like quality enhancement programs are there. Daily enhancement program is there. It's a classroom program which will give you broader idea about a mains perspective subject, broader mains perspective ideas about subjects. And it is have a one-on-one mentorship session is there. Weekly mentorship will be there. And the very important or like very attractive feature of this Right to Rank 2025 is live mock test simulation. Like it's a time restricted test series, not just a whole time restricted, like it's not like a 3 hours will be there, you write your whole answers and submit the answers, we will provide you feedback. It's not like a conventional thing. It has a very special feature, like for every questions it is time restricted. That is, for every question we will keep a certain time and you have to submit your answer within that time, and next moment we will start the next question. Okay, so by doing so, we will attend every questions, and when everybody is writing, you can't simply sit and watch like that. You also have to write, and with this, you can attend every questions. Okay, and you can manage your time according to that, and you can improve your speed, improve your analytical ability, and you can be a pro in mains answer writing. Along with it, we will conduct a mains, topper sessions also, and the art of answer writing, like including diagrams and all these things, how to improve your answer, or it's like how to appeal good, means better than others in your mains answers. Okay, so whoever got a decent mark in GS1, just join for the mains program, and for in the case of CSAT, for comprehension, those keys which produced by coaching academies, including us, it can be so sure. Like what are the UPSC perspective? That is actually we are not sure about that. So just by following the key for CSAT, you should not feel like my CSAT is not like I didn't get the like a cutoff mark, I have to prepare for one more year. Just wait for if you get a lower mark for CSAT and you get a decent mark for GS, you start preparing for mains. Just wait for the don't like feel like I lost the CSAT. Okay, just wait for the result. Okay, then only you can be assured. Okay, I got it or not. Otherwise, if you got a decent mark in GS, just start your mains preparation with us. And I hope this session is useful for all of you. And like use this elimination kind of a technique and logical kind of technique in future also, like so that you can easily crack prelims next year also. Okay, so I suggest all the best for all the aspirants who cleared, who is going to clear mains, or like I suggest everyone should clear the prelims. And that's all about the session, and we'll conclude here. Okay, thank you.